Mighty Ducks history.
Steve Ruchin and the Ducks have eliminated the defending Stanley Cup winners.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Mighty Ducks Classics, part of our never-ending attempt to bring you hockey, and more hockey, and great hockey. I'm John Ahlers, along with my partner, Brian Hayward. Tonight, we go to May the 31st, the year 2003, in what will be the first ever home game at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim that is a Stanley Cup Final game. Let's get you, however, back to that point. First of all, the Mighty Ducks qualify for the playoffs, Brian, as the number 7 team in the Western Conference, and are perceived by a great deal of people to be a Cinderella story, but not really the case based on the second half of their year.
Yeah, the reality for the Ducks, of course, is they actually enjoyed the second best record overall from the beginning of January on in the regular season, and they entered the playoffs as perhaps the hottest team in the National Hockey League, a goaltender who was untested in the postseason, but who was about to catch fire, and I think an awful lot of veteran players who are going to play significant roles moving this team throughout the playoffs and all the way into the Stanley Cup Final.
You mentioned that great record in the second half of the season. The only team that had a better record than the Ducks over that period of time was the prohibitive favorite and the defending Cup champions Detroit, who they disposed of in the first round of the playoffs in 4 straight. And of course, that's historic and part of Mighty Ducks Classics lore as well. From there, a 6-game victory, 4 games to 2 over the Dallas Stars, then a break, and then they defeat Minnesota in another sweep that creates yet another break before the Stanley Cup Finals. The Ducks had 10 days off before games 1 and 2 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and I know they downplayed it at the time, Brian, but it had an effect on the hockey club.
Yeah, I think actually it had a huge issue going into that series against the Devils because, you know, when you're not playing for 10 days, you're practicing virtually every day. I think Mike Babcock gave them about 4 days off. Then they had 6 days of nothing but practice, but not full body contact. Hard to recreate the intensity that is present in any Stanley Cup playoff game, never mind the Stanley Cup Final. And they went into those first 2 games in New Jersey, and they were just absolutely flat. They were not even in the games. In fact, they only generated a total of 32 shots on goal in the first 2 games. Martin Brodeur garnered 2 shutouts in the first 2 games, and it was not looking very good for the Ducks. It looked like this had the potential to be a sweep and not in favor of Anaheim.
Now you're going East Coast to West Coast, but yet the Ducks come home for Game 3, and the problems that Brian mentioned certainly are hovering overhead. On the off day, the players do the press conference. Lo and behold, J.S. Giguere gets up at the pedestal. He's up there, and he's talking about how we need to play with more emotion. Someone asks him, do you think you guys belong? 32 shots in 2 games, you haven't scored a goal. That somewhat sets him off, and he kind of goes on a bit of a diatribe, much like he probably had already done with his teammates.
Yeah, it was J.S. Giguere as passionate as we have ever seen him. Normally, he's a guy in the locker room that's very relaxed, very jovial, doesn't seem to take things very seriously, but when that reporter asked him, do you think you guys belong here, he said, hey, listen, we are not a fluke. We just haven't played well. We will be better in Game 3. He kind of laid out the gauntlet and challenged his teammates and guaranteed that the Mighty Ducks were going to show up for Game 3. And I think that really revitalized this team and certainly generated an awful lot of energy in the locker room.
Yeah, it takes us back to, I guess, his emergence as a leader as well. You and I saw it in the first series against Detroit in overtime of Game 1 when he stands in front of 20,000 people waving his hand saying, no, that was no goal on the disputed shot off the crossbar from Robitaille. He continues to show those leadership qualities as they get ready for this game.
Well, the interesting thing going into this game was Mike Babcock challenged his veterans on the team, players who, you know, really weren't any kind of a factor in the opening game. So we're talking about players like Steve Thomas and Adam Oates, his 2 oldest players, his leaders all season long, Steve Ruchin and J.S. Giguere. They had to play better in Game 3. And you know what? The guy who really started to take control of this series and this team as the playoffs moved around, Rob Niedermayer. And I thought Niedermayer and Ruchin and Giguere were absolutely brilliant. Paul Kariya, very quiet in the opening 2 games. He only had 1 shot on goal. How was Paul Kariya going to play in game number 3 and in game number 4? Because, you know, every time that he stepped on the ice, remember, Scott Stevens was trotted out there by Pat Burns, the head coach of the New Jersey Devils. But now the Ducks were coming home. They did have the final change. And as a result, he could get Kariya away from Stevens.
So all those factors hovering over the heads of the Mighty Ducks as they come home on May the 31st of 2003 for the first ever Stanley Cup Finals game to be played at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll go to the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim for Game 3 of the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals. With the call from ABC Sports, it'll be Gary Thorne, John Davidson, and Bill Clement.
that streak running. He has shut out the Mighty Ducks in the first 2 games of this series. Only one goaltender has ever had 3 consecutive shutouts at the start of a Stanley Cup Final. Paulson in the corner gets tied up. The Ducks have got to come up and go at him hard, and a penalty immediately in the corner.
Steve Thomas started right at center ice when the puck was dropped. He went after Friesen.
Well, you want to be aggressive and you want to go after him, but you don't want this.
Then Thomas went right back into the corner to the right side of Martin Brodeur and cross-checked his man to the ice.
Thomas dodged a bullet. Yeah, that's a must call. He dodged a bullet because he slashed Jeff Friesen in the arm right off the opening draw.
Steve Thomas trying to get a cup for the first time in his magnificent career that has lasted 19 years, but the Devils are going to get the power play. The Devils get the advantage very early, 15 seconds into game 3. Thomas gets the cross-checking call. The power play is not a big advantage for either team, but right now the Devils have a little bit better of it on the power play than have had the Ducks. Centering pass gets blocked back to Elias. Elias a shot deflected off the blocker into the netting, and there it will be whistled. The Stanley Cup Finals presented by Nextel at ABC are brought to you by Nextel. Life's better when your cell phone is a walkie-talkie. Bud Light, the proud sponsor of the NHL. Canon, with thousands of products and one simple idea, giving people know-how. Canon know-how. And Southwest Airlines, more than 2,700 nonstop daily flights, 59 destinations across the country. That went in on Brodeur, short-handed at the other end. Niedermayer, the 2 brothers, Scott Niedermayer, Rob Niedermayer, tying each other up in the corner momentarily. Intercepted by Paulson. Set up the near side for Gomez. New Jersey in this series has gone 1 for 5 on the power play overall in the playoffs. Just 11 power play goals in 68 chances for the Devils. Elias has it. Looking back out onto the point, Niedermayer. They'll set up down low, only one in front of the net. Niedermayer in the middle of Gomez. Back for Niedermayer. Niedermayer a wrister. That gets blocked. Deflected out deep and cleared.
Great penalty kill by Niedermayer. Came off the bench, helped win a faceoff in his own zone, blocked a shot on that play. And the Devils need a good penalty, or pardon me, the Ducks need a good penalty kill, and they're getting it so far.
Power play continues here for another 37 seconds for the Devils. Breland leaves it near side Giada. Giada dumped it back, high slot, wide open, no shot. Chance deflected. Friesen with the opportunity, but it hit a defenseman. Jeff Friesen has had a magnificent playoff. For the last 7 Devils goals scored by that man right there, Jeff Friesen. Into the corner, he's a former Mighty Duck. Onto the point, Lewandowski with it, leaves it high, shot, Stevens, saved by Giguere with Breland getting leveled in front.
But Giguere was able to see that one. Breland did not have the screen set up that he wanted. The Devils have been so successful in taking away the sight lines for Giguere. They were awesome in game 2 at doing it. So how tough will it be for the Mighty Ducks to come back? Well, it's happened 3 times.
That's it.
1942, 1966, and the last time, 1971. When losing the first 2 games, the team has come back and won.
It is very difficult, but at least they've got it back on home ice to try and get on the board. They are 6-1 here at home in the playoffs. 17 goals scored and 9, only 9 given up at home.
Yeah, I guess it could be worse. They could have lost the first 2 games at home.
Yeah. It'll be brought up near side, power play over. They got 2 shots on it, but the Devils did not score, so Anaheim able to kill it off. Off the near side wall, it was knocked away by Breland to the far side, Tommy Ahlers. These teams going with the same lineups we have seen in the first 2 games of this series. Joe Nieuwendyk still injured for the Devils and not playing. Brought up by Correa, leaves it near side. Correa heads to the net, Thomas a chance, deflected up and into the netting.
Paul Correa with that shot. Now does not have a shot on goal in 3+ periods, because he did not have a shot on goal in game 2, the first time in 30 playoff games. First time in his career without a shot on goal, and a big reason, that was a block by Colin White. Boy, they get their sticks on a lot of pucks.
What was interesting, Billy, is Paul Correa came down the ice, took the shot, it was deflected. As soon as the whistle was sounded, that guy with a puck right now, Scott Stevens, put back on the ice because Correa was out there.
Now what you're seeing here, Mike Babcock has made a decision, needing this goal, that they have reunited the top scorers on their team on one line. It's risky because you get everything in one basket. You got Oates, Correa, and Sikora playing together. Generally, he's not done that till late in the game when they're behind, but when they've been home and he can get the line changes that he wants, he's tried to keep them together early.
The Devils now have the matchup because they won the faceoff, Gary. Wow, sticks are up there.
This is an angry Ducks team.
If you win the faceoff, you can go to work. The Devils won the draw, went behind the net, stood there with the puck. Then they had all their forwards changed to get the people they wanted to go against that line you talked about with Mike Babcock.
I think we might see all kinds of line combos from Mike Babcock. His team was so great in the middle of chaos when they chased the matchup. They were terrific when there were guys coming and going all the time off the bench. And Pat Burns has settled into the same matchup so far in this series as Mike Babcock. I don't think Babcock wants his team to get complacent. He's going to keep them on edge.
Ruchin chasing the puck up, intercepted. Steve Ruchin looking for Leclerc. Leclerc, Ruchin, and Niedermayer on this line. This is a line that has had Paul Correa on it a lot. Elias tried to dump it in on net. It got deflected. The rookie back to get it. Kurt Sauer leaves it up the near side and out of the zone. Ruchin with it. Steve Ruchin looking. Niedermayer, trailer. Niedermayer off the blocker. Big save by Martin Brodeur. Gianna takes the hit. Niedermayer tried to dump it back. It's held in. The Ducks have shown more physical presence here in this period than we saw in the first two games. Niedermayer dropped it back out to the blue line where it'll be moved up and out of the zone. Friesen sends it in, trying to hit Breland. A penalty coming up, delayed call. This one's going to be on the Ducks again.
It's a slashing call. And the Ducks, this is the one area, though, Gary, you mentioned the Ducks are angry, and they are. But if you end up in the box, it's trouble. Leclerc goes.
For slashing number 12 for Anaheim.
I don't think that's a genuine smile.
No, it's cynical.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
So the Devils get the first two power plays of the game.
Obviously, the Mighty Ducks wanted to come with a lot of emotion. There's a fine line between out-of-control emotion and controlled emotion.
And for the Devils, you know about their way of playing hockey. They're very disciplined. They've been there a number of times. And you can see right now, if they can get their power play going, they'll take advantage of this.
Niedermayer near side. Devils have their second power play of the period. Niedermayer cruising in. Shot gets blocked and goes up into the netting. Leclerc went at .358 on the slashing. On the power play, Niedermayer working one of the blue line positions. Gomez up in a forward role.
He really is one of the most creative playmakers in the NHL, and he's really feeling good about himself now. He's elevated his game since Joe Nieuwendyk went down.
You know, one of only two Devils that have not spent time in the minors before making their team. The other being Niedermayer, the defenseman. And I asked their general manager why. He says, well, both of them came to a training camp. We sent them back to junior. Then they showed up the next year and they knew how to play.
Patrik Elias brings it in. Power play for the Devils continuing here. Minute 30 left on it. Cleared out of there by the Ducks.
They're also really good.
Yeah. That might have something to do with it.
It's a big difference. This penalty killing unit of the Ducks, second best during the regular season. Into the middle, Niedermayer down low, off Giguere, bounced to the other side of the net. Steve Ruchin, Patrik Elias was on him, over to help Niedermayer. The attempt is clear, not yet. Keith Carney ran it up the wall. Niedermayer poke checked it out of the pack. Ruchin gets it and clears.
The Ducks are winning some battles here. I know they have to kill penalties here early, but they're winning battles, and this is something we didn't see a lot of in the first two games.
Elias and Carney just came off the boards, nose to nose, jawing at one another.
Little fire going here. The New Jersey Devils on the road have gone only 4-4 this playoff year, and they've only outscored the opposition by 20-19 on the road. Little life there maybe for Anaheim. Up to the wall, Tommy Avelin holds it in. Power play, 37 left on it. Cleared out again. Rafalski will give chase. The Devils trying to take a 3-0 lead in this series in the Stanley Cup Finals if they can win this game. Rafalski dumped it into the corner. Still loose at a point. Cleared up and out of the zone again. Niedermayer. Down to 18 seconds left to go. Held up behind the net by Brodeur. The New Jersey Devils power play regular season was the worst in the National Hockey League. They simply do not rely on it to win games. Anything they get off the power play is an added plus for the Devils. To the point, Tommy Avelin leaves it over there. Penalty is over. They got one shot. 5-on-5 hockey now. Friesen broke his stick receiving a pass.
Just a little pass, a nothing pass, and a stick snap.
Here's a chance to get the Devils odd man, but it's kicked out of the zone by Tommy Avelin. Back up Gianna. Brian Gianna's shot held onto by Giguere. So the Devils 0 for 2 on the power play. First period, scoreless.
6 weeks ago, not many people had heard of Jean-Sebastien Giguere. That has sure changed with the play that he has put together in the playoffs so far, winning 3 series. Let's take a close-up look at him. He's the youngest of 5 children. His hockey idol was Patrik Elias. That's a no-brainer. He appeared on The Tonight Show just recently, and he will end up with a ring whether he wins the Stanley Cup or not, because he's getting married on June 21st.
You know, guys, being the youngest of 5 kids, that's why he became a goaltender. They said the youngest one gets stuck in the net, and you're going in there.
Certainly has worked out all right right now. Giguere yesterday very unhappy. He said his team played without emotion in the first 2 games. He called it unacceptable. And then when some reporters started questioning whether or not the Ducks had a right to be in the finals, he got angry. And he said, "We are not a fluke." That's his word. But they've got to come out in the ice here and prove it. Rafalski behind the net will touch that one up. That'll be an icing call. Face off the other way.
Well, through a lot of the playoffs, we talked about Giguere's shutout streaks. Martin Brodeur obviously was paying attention. Nominated for the Vezina, best goalie in the NHL, nominated for the Hart, league MVP. And has a nice shutout streak going himself here in the Stanley Cup Final.
And even when he's not getting a lot of work, he makes you change your game, because everybody's concerned about how he handles the puck. You got to throw the puck into this side or that side. Even if he's not making saves, he gets you off your game.
Adam Oates won another face-off, but they couldn't control Madden. Madden has been out there whenever Korea's been out in this series. He and Scott Stevens, the matchup that the Devils look for, the Madden line. And that means Jamie Langenbrunner, who's out there right now. He came right out on the ice as soon as they could get the change. Langenbrunner wears 15 for the Devils. That's Korea number 9, who was the leading scorer during the regular season for the Mighty Ducks. They keep, the Ducks do, that top line together with Sikora and Oates and Korea. It bounces by Giguere, cleared up the near side boards. Madden sends it back in, hit the side of the net. Almost went off the goaltender and in. Jamie Langenbrunner with it. Langenbrunner held up. Puck cleared up and out of the zone.
Well, that was deflected by a Mighty Duck. Nicholas Havlat got his stick on it.
That almost went off Giguere's back and into the net. They back off the near side boards. Again, the Ducks trying to put some pressure on in the form of hitting, and they're doing it here. Niedermayer dumped it back in. They were onside. Rafalski will clear it out of the zone with Flair from the red line. Feathered it in. Ruchin a fake. Ruchin with White on him. Reverses direction. Ruchin looking. They're trying to get Niedermayer set up down low. Sandis Ozolinsh, a defenseman, had joined the play. That through a screen went wide. Here's Ozolinsh, a one-timer down low to Leclerc. Leclerc, Ruchin, that one got blocked by White. Shot back into the middle by Salei. Couldn't get it on. Man coming here. Langenbrunner trying to rush it up ice. Penalty coming. Langenbrunner in. Oh, there's the whistle. Behind the play, maybe a dive.
I think it's both. Yeah, maybe both.
And a little upset is Langenbrunner, and Salei will get the calls. Well, it's a little testy out there in this game.
Salei got trapped at the blue line. You'll see the puck go by him on the left side. Over on the left side, he's hooking his man, and in the middle of the ice, one of the Devils took what the referee said was a dive, so each team has a player in the box. Freeland and Salei.
Interesting, because it came at different positions on the ice. And we will go with a 4-on-4 situation. So the speedsters with the matching minors creates a 4-on-4 opportunity. Great to have you with us here on ABC. Our coverage of the Stanley Cup Finals presented by Nextel. Upstairs here with Clement, John Davidson, I'm Gary Thorne. The Devils won the first 2 at home. The Ducks have not yet scored a goal in this series. Shut out by Brodeur twice. Backed into the middle. Little open net. Giguere down, but it goes off the side. Rayom with the opportunity for the Devils. Stevens partially blocked that. Deflected back into the middle. 4-on-4 hockey. This is where the guys who can fly get a little room. Korea started in, shut it down, tried to go to the middle. Lost control of it, cleared, far side Elias.
Did you see Scott Stevens stride for stride matching Paul Korea coming back? Korea's supposed to be really fast, and Scott Stevens didn't lose an inch.
Yeah, but credit Stevens for that, but also say Paul Korea's got to have better legs, has to have better speed than that.
Got to move, and that one's going to be deflected in offside. As the Devils had entered the zone ahead of the puck, and the discussions continue. Ozolinsh and White at center ice.
There's a ton more passion early in this first period. The referees are really trying to make sure that they're in the middle of stopping the majority of it. By the way, that might have been Freeland. That Salei did hook down. And so both players in the penalty box for another 57 seconds.
I think the big test for the Mighty Ducks will be if they don't score first. Will the passion disappear? We know it's going to stay if they score first, and that's why it's so important for them to get on the board.
The Ducks have had only 16 shots in each of the first 2 games, respectively, a total of 32. That is a very low number. 32 is what you're trying to get in one game. Near side for Gianna. Gianna shoveled that one into the corner. Friesen was coming back. It got blocked to Ozolinsh from Sauer. 35 left on the matching line. Ozolinsh, a speedy defenseman who likes to play offense, set it in behind the net. Not much room here to get it going as the Devils continue to muck it up. Brought back in by Leclaire. Off the near side, Ruchin. Ruchin leaves it Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh a move. Lost the puck. And it's cleared out to center. Ozolinsh with a chance, but he couldn't control the puck. Kurt Sauer back to get it. Just 22 years old and a lot of ice time for him. Ozolinsh back in. Ozolinsh dumps it in front. Davidovsky was there. Shot back, Thomas, knocked away by Brodeur. Tommy Avelin up the wall, not out. Thomas got it. Thomas trying to center. Penalties are over. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Sent into the middle. Ozolinsh came back to get it. No score, first period. Shots are 6-3 in favor of the Devils as Brodeur continues his shutout streak. He's not given one up here to the Ducks. Thomas had it, lost it. Freeland along the wall, rolled it out. There you see the 2-1 shot advantage early. Tommy Avelin, veteran defenseman, gunned that one in. Giguere left it in behind the net. Here comes Keith Carney. Carney leads all Ducks in ice time this playoff season. Ice time per game. Centered, couldn't get it. Gianna. And she stopped cutting, but it went by. Freeland will lead the charge. Freeland into the zone. Pinned up. Pandolfo centered. Both checked away to the wall. And the Ducks move it back through center. And this is the kind of game we've seen in the first 2. Correa dumped it into the middle. Adam Oates just on the ice. Oates along the blue line. In for Correa. He's tied up. Had Stevens right on him, and Rapolsky played it up, not out. But hustled by Segura. Stevens will get it again. Clears it around the near side. Still not out of the zone. Poke checked away to Friesen, though, from Freeland. It goes back deep.
Some pressure by the Ducks, but have you seen many shots?
No, man. The Devils do one thing better than any team in the game. They deny time and space. Watch how much time any Mighty Duck has if he gets the puck in the offensive zone. 0.
They are right there. They gave up only 2.02 goals per game regular season, tied for first. They just throttle it down. And they wait for you to make a mistake, then score a goal. That has been the MO of the New Jersey Devils for a decade. Back in through the middle. Backhand opportunity, perhaps. Chouinard didn't have any room. Leaves it off the near side. Ozolinsh centering pass. Bounced away. Brodeur reached out. Chouinard was cutting in front. And Martin Brodeur put the goaltender stick into the pile, and the puck went back out to the blue line. Rapolsky able to clear.
I love the game Ozolinsh is playing early here in the first period. He's a roving defenseman. He can provide offense, and he's trying to do it. He hasn't made a mistake doing it yet.
Number 8 in white is 130th playoff game. Pandolfo cutting to the net. Shot went to the near side corner. Pandolfo plays it back for Gomez. Gomez left it, looking Elias to Gomez. Gomez waiting for someone to get in front. Centered it. Tipped right through the paint. Comes off the near side wall, and Chouinard will clear. Niedermayer's going to have to play this. They wave off any ice. Scott Niedermayer, one of the brothers in this series, as he's the defenseman for the Devils. Rob Niedermayer, a forward for the Ducks. Carney bounces it in behind his net. Devils with 2 4-checkers up. Leclaire hit by Gomez. Freed it up. In the middle, McKenzie to Gomez. Gomez saved by Giguere. A shot coming off a turnover. We're scoreless. You're watching the NHL on ABC Sports Championship Television. We talk about Mighty Ducks, Emilio Estevez.
Coach of the Mighty Ducks not in uniform tonight. Okay, the movie version. All 3 of them.
You know, Billy, back in the days we played junior hockey, that's what our coaches used to do to us, to make us stand up.
That's what made you a good goaltender right there.
No,
they tied your arms to the crossbar.
The 5-hole was just a major problem for me. Oh, gosh.
7 minutes left to go here in a scoreless first period as the Ducks continue to struggle to get chances, being outshot 7-3 here. Play back around behind the net by Wisniewski. Cleared it up the far side, moved out by Cheestop. Cheestop, a couple of goals, 13 games. Thomas a shot, it went wide. Cheestop over to get it. This line's not had a lot of time in the first 2 games as a unit. Bumped in behind the net. Paulson coming back to get it. Paulson got tied up. Through the first series of this playoff year, this line had done a good job They have not been able to convert, though. Thomas, Cheestoff, and Paulson, they had 7 goals through the first 3 series. Zippo, obviously, in this one, and they're playing at a combined -5. That one's going to be called on the offside. We'll check in with Brian Engblom.
Guys have been talking about Sandis Ozolinsh. We've been following him. He's been sniffing all around. He's trying to get something going offensively. I said he's like a wild Mustang. He looks like he's trying to throw off the saddle here. In 1996, when he played with Colorado and won a Stanley Cup, he had 19 points in the playoffs. He's only got 5 so far. But in Game 3 here, he wants to make a difference. He's in on every play. He's had the puck sometimes. He's a dangerous guy. He's like a 4th forward. High risk, high return. It's worth the risk right now.
Yep. Good point, Brian. I think Mike Babcock has green-lighted him.
Got to find a way to score. No points. Last 6 games for Ozolinsh.
Remember how upset he was when he was traded by the Panthers during the All-Star break here to Anaheim? My, what a couple of months. What a difference it makes, huh?
What a difference a finals appearance does for you, doesn't it? And it's Gomez. Gomez tied up by Niedermayer. Gomez in his own end. Niedermayer kicking it away. Niedermayer got it up for Leclerc. Leclerc, quick shot, glove down. Brodeur drops it off. Up the near side, Stevens trying to get it out. Did not. Held in. In front, centering pass. Almost tied up. Down low, Rafalski. And he'll clear. Grant Marshall with a fine play to pick up the stick of the cutting Mighty Duck in center ice. 5:38 left. Scoreless first period. Game 3. The Devils won the first 2. You're looking at the outside facade of the pond, the home of these Mighty Ducks. You New Jersey fans on hand here as well. The Devils in the finals for the 3rd time in 4 years and looking to win their 3rd Stanley Cup. The Ducks are in the finals for the first time in their 10-year history. Out off the faceoff, it will be Madden against Oates, maybe.
Now Madden got tossed. Langerbrunner goes in. This should be advantage Adam Oates.
Oates is one of the great draw men of all time, 6th in the league regular season. Off the faceoff, he won it back to the point, and they couldn't get the shot off.
You see Madden jump out there. Madden got tossed out of the faceoff circle, so what he did after his team lost the draw, he got out there to make sure they got the puck back and out of the zone. Remarkable.
Guilt is a great motivator, isn't it?
And Giguere just wandered as far as we have seen him wander in the Stanley Cup Finals. He went to the corner to get that puck. Now, he generally will not do that. I think that's another indication of how everything's going to be pulled out here to try and get a goal. If Giguere's got to go play the puck, even though he's not a particularly good stick handler, he'll go out and try it. Moving back up, Carney guns it in. Not a particularly easy save right there.
Brodeur was going the other way.
Yeah, he thought the puck was going to be dumped in.
Yeah.
Because they've been doing that and not shooting from long distance.
Keith Carney touches that one up for the icing. There's Donald Trump. He doesn't own the cup yet, as far as we know.
Is he building golf courses around?
Could be. Maybe he just wants the cup to put in the bedroom.
Looked like he was eating chicken fingers to me. That's what I think he's doing here.
That one off the far side, Gianna. And he got hit by Leclerc. Real in a collision at center. Ruslan Salei. Devils get it back. Knocked down by Friesen, who clears it in. Friesen played for the Mighty Ducks. According to their GM, Brian Murray, he wanted to be traded. Friesen is now making it squirmily uncomfortable in this finals for Anaheim. Sent back in, and back for it is Stevens. Avoided the check, most of it anyway. And the Devils will work it out.
The one guy that's been able to get really good licks in on Scott Stevens in the series is Rob Niedermayer.
Well,
Shot by Gianna, save made Giguere.
You know, guys, I think they're playing Niedermayer on purpose to go against Scott Stevens because of size. If you think of the right side, and Niedermayer can play left wing, center, right wing, but they added size to their team and getting him from Calgary late in the season, and he's played a lot against Scott Stevens. Scott takes hits, makes plays, but at least Niedermayer in this game is making it uncomfortable for Scott Stevens.
There is Niedermayer heading back, and there is Stevens. He has played more playoff games than any other defenseman in the history of the game as he passed his former coach and mentor, Larry Robinson, the former great Montreal Canadiens defenseman. And Stevens is now #1 in that category. Almost an odd man rush there for the Ducks. We've said that more than once, and it ends up not being there.
A what?
Yeah, that's right. A what? An odd man rush for Anaheim. Has an happened. Intercepted on the far side by Oates. Got it down to Sikora. And cutting was Correa. Right there was Tommy Avalon to play it. Ozolinsh wrists it into the middle. Blocked out. What a great save. Paul Correa. A rebound chance, and Martin Brodeur denied.
Babcock had the matchup he wanted.
3-on-3 the other way. Again, dumped in towards the middle. Korea trying to hit Oates. Couldn't. Niedermayer knocked it down. Niedermayer moves it out. Babcock has kept his big scorers together in this first period. Here's a 3-on-2 opportunity, but they've got to change. Drop back by Thomas. Ozolinsh coming in. Ozolinsh looking. Thomas hit the side of the net. Bounced around the far side boards by Pandolfo, and a net came off the mooring. Faceoff will stay in the zone.
Oh, I thought he was calling a penalty on Colin White.
What a save by Martin Brodeur. I think this is his best of the series. It was a rebound to Paul Korea.
And
there.
Wouldn't you know,
bang.
It happened without Scott Stevens and
That's
John
right.
Madden on the ice.
It was the third pair of defense on the ice for the Devils. It was the matchup that the Ducks have been waiting for. They finally got it, and they had their best scoring chance, maybe of the series.
Through the first 2 games, Korea was out 22 even strength shifts. Stevens was out there in 20 of them.
That last one actually nicked off the outside of the post.
Off this draw, he went back Rafalski. Big shot put on Stevens behind the net, but as usual, he just bounces away, keeps on going. Stevens and Thomas collided, the veteran Steve Thomas after Scott Stevens. At center, Stevens picks it up. Stevens moves it near side. Rayon dumps it back in behind the net. Salei just dropped it off for Paulson. Up the boards and off the wall. This is going to be an icing call on the Ducks. And we are down to 2:44 left to go here in period number 1, and we are still scoreless. Our Bud Light Stanley Cup flashback. The 1995 finals, the Detroit Red Wings. Everyone said, oh, they're going to win the cup. They met up with the New Jersey Devils. 1, 2, 3, go home. The Devils able to wipe them out and win that Stanley Cup, the first in the Devils franchise history.
That was the shortened season, and the teams had never faced one another until the Stanley Cup Finals, and the Detroit Red Wings skated right into something that was very strange to them, the New Jersey Trap.
Boy, is that a factor, and I think it's a factor here in this series. The Devils won both regular season games. That'll be touched up for an icing call. And we're going to check in with Samantha Ryan. Sam.
All right, Gary, joining me right now, the wife of Scott Stevens, Donna Stevens. Your husband's played in more playoff games than any other defenseman in the NHL, and you've seen him through all of them. You've been with him 22 years. What's your fondest memory?
I would have to say when we came from behind in the series against the Flyers to win the Cup in 2000.
Well, they used to call him Bam Bam when he first came up. What do they call him now?
Now they call him Dad.
And what do you call him?
What do you call him, Kara?
Dad.
Thanks a lot, guys. Gary?
Dad's good. Gianna left it in the middle, intercepted. And the Ducks move it up the near side. First 2 games of this series, both were scoreless in the first period.
The Ducks have had 5 of the last 7 shots here in the first period. They've come on a little bit.
Near side for Friesen. 3 goals. Every time he touches the puck, he draws boos from the crowd he used to play in front of. This being his home ice when he played for the Ducks, with 3 goals in the first 2 games of this series. Minute 55 left to go in period number 1. Great to have you with us here on ABC. We will continue our coverage for how many ever games are remaining this year's Stanley Cup Finals right here on ABC. John Davidson and Bill Clement upstairs. Here on Gary Thorne off the boards. Korea had it. Dumped back by Madden. Intercepted Niedermayer. Niedermayer moves in by Rafalski. Back to get it Stevens, and that's going to be a
penalty.
And a penalty, a hooking call.
Rafalski held up Niedermayer because he wanted to go in and nail Scott Stevens again. And he couldn't get there, so the call is made by Bill McCreary.
New Jersey, 2 minutes.
That's a hook. Want to remind you this broadcast is also available in high definition, which will show you a wide shot on the face of Pat Burns that wasn't a smile. That great shot gives you the whole building here of the pond and the whole ice surface. HD.
Palm trees outside aren't bad either.
Not JD, HD. Rafalski hooking at 18:29. Power play number 1 for the Mighty Ducks. They have not scored one in this series. They're 0 for 5. In front, cleared. Big pile up there. Pandolfo got it out of there. So the Mighty Ducks trying to find a way to get on the board, get a chance here with 1:13 left in the period. They've got a power play to work with. The Devils, Madden was up. Rafalski sends it in. Brodeur knocks it down. And clears it himself. No, Korea. And that's going to be whistled. It was hit with a high stick.
Man, how did Marty Brodeur, how did Brodeur get to that, though? He is, there's nobody better. And the most underrated thing about Brodeur's game is his skating game. You have to have the agility to get there first before you even move the puck, and that was a hard rim. Right here, bang, he gets it with the heel of his stick, turns, fires, makes it look easy.
You know, Bill, his dad, as we all know, was a photographer in the old Montreal Forum with the Montreal Canadiens. His dad came home from a game after Philadelphia had played Montreal, and he says, son, you got to see this guy, Ron Hextall. He says, why? He says, you should see him handle the puck. He's like a third defenseman. I want you to work at handling the puck. And that's where it got ingrained in his mind to handle the puck as much as he does from Ron Hextall.
He even scores with it sometimes. Ozolinsh found on the shot. Cleared back out of the zone by Patrik Elias. 39 seconds left to go in this period. Power play continuing here for the Ducks. Oates is in. Oates looking. Oates trying to drop a pass. His stick picked up by Elias. Back to the point. Ozolinsh in. Ozolinsh. That one deflected wide. Oates centering pass. Backhander off the side of the net. Stevens taking away Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer turns to the dot. He's open. Deflected by Oates behind the net. Still a power play with 15 left in the period. Oates puts the hit on. Dug the puck out. Ozolinsh way down low waiting. Ozolinsh was standing in front of the net, banging his stick. That one shot wide. Near side boards. He'll be stepping up, trying to hold it in. No dice to center. Period's over with 29 left on the power play. Welcome back, everybody. Upstairs as we get set for period number 2, the Devils and the Mighty Ducks 0-0. And for Martin Brodeur, the New Jersey Devils, these Duck fans just don't have anything to cheer about because he continues his shutout streak. He's not allowed a goal yet through the first 7 periods. Get on the board first, you got a good chance to win.
Got a great chance.
The Ducks had 7 of the last 9 shots in the first period. My fearless prediction is I think the Ducks are going to get themselves a goal this period.
Power play continues for another 17 seconds. Cleared off the near side boards and out of there. The Devils are shorthanded to start the second period. The Devils had 2 power play chances in the first and did not convert. The Ducks, this is the finish of their first power play of the game, and they're not going to get anything off it either. So the power play concludes. They got 2 shots on the power play. We remain scoreless. Sandis Ozolinsh brings it in, got tied up, and it's cleared out the center again. Anaheim with 9 shots in the first period. It is the most in the finals that they have had in a period. In that first, they got it, so something to build on. Vreeland back in. Poke checked away and out to center. The Mighty Ducks with just the 32 shots coming into game 3. It was the second fewest shots for any team that has played in the finals through 2 games. That's going to be whistled for being hit with a high stick.
Well, without question, the best save of the first period came off the left pad of Martin Brodeur when he really stoned Paul Kariya.
The guys during the intermission were talking about Martin Brodeur and Marty scoring a goal during the playoffs. He told me he's got 3 different types of shots that he uses to move the puck out of his own zone. Some of us would wonder if we had 1. He's got 3 different ways of shooting the puck.
You scared me there for a minute. I thought you could tell me he had 3 different ways to shoot the puck for a goal, which he probably does, actually.
You know, he has shot a puck 83 miles an hour with a set of forwards gloves, but using his goalie stick. 83 miles an hour was time. Yep.
You remember when we have our super skills competition there during the All-Star break, that the shots, if you get over 100 miles an hour, you're up there with the very best of the NHL.
So 83 with the goalie stick is really firing.
Pretty good. Back in behind the net, Salei dropped it off. The standard, of course, set by our own John Davidson, who once fired a puck. And we're not going to tell you what happened on the reading. I did. Vreeland moves it in. Centering pass. And it went through the top of the paint with Elias cutting. Trying to hold it in was Grant Marshall. Got it to Salei. Salei for the Ducks. Came off the wall. There are the Devils. Big Rapolsky putting the hit on. Moved back. Sheestop into his own end. This line's being given a chance by Mike Babcock to get it done. Marshall met him, knocked him down. Sheestop just got leveled at his own blue line. Back in behind the net, it'll be touched for an icing call, and we'll check in with Darren Bank.
Thanks very much, Gary. Don't underestimate JD's puck handling abilities. He can hit a driver anyway. As far as Martin Brodeur is concerned, in games 1 and 2, let's face it, there was very little traffic, very little shots. He averaged about 5 shots per game in the first 2. Well, now at least there's somebody in front. The Anaheim Mighty Ducks are timing their movement, working the puck down low, and then getting bodies in front. At least they're forcing them to move. At the very end of it, Steve Thomas got drilled by Niedermayer.
Keep in mind, Marty Brodeur, some of the best numbers goaltending-wise in both the regular season and playoffs. Marty Brodeur looking for another victory here. He's 81 and 53 in playoffs. Bounced off Giguere. Sauer trying to clear it up. Held in momentarily by Stevens.
These Ducks are running Scott Stevens. Billy, you think it's going to affect Stevens at all?
Does he know it?
The hunter is becoming the hunted, but I don't think it bothers him.
21 years. Teams have tried to do anything to make Scott Stevens easier to play against, and it's never worked. He's been the hardest defenseman to play against for 20 years.
Back into the middle to Gomez. Gomez looking. Marshall was cutting. Cleared up the near side boards and a poke check, but not out. Rapolsky held it in. On for Elias on the half boards. Left it Gomez. Gomez cycling up the near side. Gomez 2 goals, 8 assists. So far this playoff year, that one got chipped out of there. Second period, no score. Shots are even at 9. Stevens got back to touch it up. There was going to be no call there. Gomez looking wide. Both teams trying to get a line change done. Sent in by McKenzie. Knocked away by Giguere. Devils changing. Puck bouncing off players who were coming off the bench. Everybody wanted to call for too many on the ice, and Babcock is screaming over there at the official about too many men on the ice for the Devils. Ozolinsh, chance, score! Deflected shot, Chouinard!
How about this?
Go figure, huh? Who gets the first goal? Anaheim's fourth line.
Amazing. Caught Marty Brodeur moving. Maybe a surprise shot by Chouinard. He did not see the puck go in. Southwest goal cam looked at it. Chouinard was twisted around, shot the puck, didn't know it went in.
Just inside the post, it was really a thread the needle kind of shot for Chouinard. He came out in game 2 and in game 1 and was the most determined Mighty Duck with the physical portion of the game. Now he's got them their first goal in the series.
And Bill Chouinard, who played, as you said, very little on that fourth line, he has been in this series tied for the lead in shots through the first 2 games for the Ducks. And there they come on and get the lead.
Well, he only played 2 shifts in the first period.
A 1-0 lead. The Mighty Ducks have ended all the zeros. Marty Brodeur has given one up. It is their first goal since May 16. They had that long 11-day layoff waiting for the finals. As we showed you, they have not lost a game where they have scored first. And for Marty Brodeur, the streak ends. There's the longest shutout streak to begin a finals. Brodeur ends at 143.39, second only to Frank McCool, 45 with Toronto.
Marty Brodeur, throughout his history, has become one of the best goaltenders at keeping his team in a game when they're down by a goal. You know what I mean? A lot of goalies are pretty good when they're ahead by a goal, but he keeps his team in it when they're down 1. Let's see if he gets some more work here. The Ducks are playing pretty well. They have not had good second periods in this series, and they're showing me something here.
The goal at 3:39, Chouinard's first of the playoff season. Ozolinsh, the assist, 3:39.
Another look at it. Brodeur tried to shovel it around. It came right back out front, and before Brodeur was set, Chouinard spun and fired. The Mighty Ducks need to get something in the second period because the Devils generally own third periods, at least they have in the playoffs.
Marty Brodeur ends a personal streak as well of over 161 minutes in which he had not given up a goal. So they have gotten, as the adage goes, that monkey off their back. If you're a Duck, you don't want a monkey on your back. And believe me, that no goals was some big ache.
What do you mean, just because they hadn't scored since the Clinton administration?
That's exactly what happened. Back it comes to Friesen. Friesen in. Wanted to turn it. Ozolinsh blocked it. Friesen to the point. Stevens back to him. Stevens trying to set a pick for him. Back to Rapolsky. He dropped it through the middle. Nobody could redirect. Paul Courier over to get it. Salei takes a stick to the face from Gianna, but there's no call. Move back up the near side wall. Ozolinsh. Again, knocked away Pandolfo to Breland. Breland waiting for help. Devils want to change. He shoots it into the zone.
First shift after a goal, and the Devils look pretty good.
Boy, they come right back and do what you got to do playing the other end, because you know the Mighty Ducks have to have about 3 minutes of adrenaline running through their bodies, and they can use it best in the offensive zone.
In this playoff year, the Devils 9 times have had the opposing team score first. They have won 4 of the 9. Gomez shot, just missed. He had Elias cutting into the middle.
Paulson turned the puck over between the blue lines for the Ducks. The Devils come right back and get a scoring chance.
Devils will ratchet it up a notch offensively now into the middle, trying to hit Elias. Ozolinsh, they'll touch that one up, and it'll be whistled on the 2-liner. Let's check in again with Sam Ryan.
All right, Gary, and bittersweet feelings for Carol Niedermeyer, Scott and Rob's mom. You told us on Tuesday that you were going for Rob because he hadn't won a ring yet. Now with the Devils up 2-0, are you changing your allegiances here?
No, I'm not. I will hopefully see the Anaheim Mighty Ducks come back in the series. And although I want to see Scotty and his team do well, ultimately I still want the Ducks to win.
Talk a little bit about Thursday night after the Devils win up 2-0. Did you talk to Rob, and what kind of words of encouragement did you give him, mother to son?
Yes, I was able to see Robbie after the game, and I just said, you know, you just have to keep working hard, and things will work out. So just keep trying your best, and all being well, you'll come out ahead.
Either way, you get the Stanley Cup brought home to you, Gary.
Shot wide. Sounded like a whistle. There wasn't one there. Brought in pretty good on-man rush right there for the Ducks, and the Devils have a player hurt. John Madden is heading to the bench, holding his left shoulder down.
Left arm, shoulder, elbow, something, and he's keeping his left arm to his body.
Yeah, he is.
He was hit in the corner to the left side of Martin Brodeur.
That's Madden, number 11.
This is big.
Not panicking here.
He stood quietly for a moment without moving in the corner, then edged his way to the bench.
He's still got his left arm against his body. He's trying to hide this thing. In the corner.
He's taken
hit by his own guy.
He might have hyperextended his arm. It looked like it. Watch his left arm here. It was outstretched when Colin White came in.
He's being tended to right now on the bench, training staff.
He went to that no-play seat, guys, at the end.
Yeah, and his left arm is still tucked against his body. He has not extended his arm yet.
Giguere knocks that shot down from center. Keith Carney will pick it up. Madden has been on that big defensive line. Even though he hasn't scored, he's been out there against Korea.
Gary, the other issue, he is their face-off. They used to start you with Joe Nieuwendyk out of the lineup, and if it's a left hand or a left arm injury, it might affect his face-off.
They're just rubbing his left wrist. They gave him his glove back, and it looks like he's going to be okay. He's going to try and shake it off.
Tough to keep him out of the lineup. Sauer drops it near side. Keith Carney. Babcock is keeping this line together with all the scorers on it. Oates, Sikora, and Paul Correa. They played together virtually every shift in that first period. They've got the 1-0 lead. Paul Correa, the flip out of the zone. Stevens, Sikora, Bell going after the puck.
I was worried that Peter Sikora might have been close to eating the heel of the blade of the skate on Scott Stevens. It came right up in his face.
Right behind him. Langenbrunner sends it in. Friesen's open. A chance off the blocker. Comes around the near side, but it hit the netting, and that will be whistled. The Ducks have the 1-0 lead. Trying to get their first victory in this Stanley Cup Final here at the Pond. The Ducks home.
Another look at what happened to John Madden. He is the man in red in the background, number 11. His left arm outstretched, and his own teammate Colin White came to the boards. And sure looked like he had a chance to hyperextend his left arm or his wrist.
He has not yet joined his teammates on the bench. He's still sitting down there at that odd man seat at the end of the bench, trying to shake it off. That one loose behind the net. Roll right in front of Giguere. Played back up. Paulson got it out of there. Good move to clear. Thomas will send it in. Wide side, Jason Krog, who's played very little in this game, came back out to center, so we see a little line adjustment here. Babcock doing it. Giguere near side. Stepping up, Gianna bounced it away. Good play by Gianna to get to it twice. Back it goes to Breland. Breland got pinned up by Salei. Played around the boards. Wisniewski moved it up and out of the zone. Jason Krog trying to break. Got knocked away with a high stick, but it was the Devils who hit it, so it continues to be played here. Back into the middle shot. Breland off the blocker. Into the corner. Thomas. Thomas fake going the other way. Paid for it. Friesen got him in the ribs. Centering past Wisniewski with it for the Ducks. The Ducks with a 1-0 lead here in their home ice. Good hit at center. Jason Krog took White down. Came back near side Gomez. A little room in the middle. Elias. His shot gets blocked up and into the netting.
John Madden on the ice right now for his first shift since he jammed his left arm, and he's going to take the face off. It's his left arm, his bottom hand on the stick. See how he does. Wins it. Wins it.
He went 1 out of 5 in the face-off department in the first period. The Devils won only 32% of the draws in the first. Langenbrunner just missed. Langenbrunner right through the top again. Came back to the point, Niedermayer. Niedermayer sent it behind the net. Ozolinsh couldn't quite get it. Madden's in front. Madden looking for the pass. Shot. Madden blocked. Leclerc in front of him blocked it. Moved back up by Niedermayer. Niedermayer into the middle of Ruchin. Steve Ruchin. Niedermayer's on him. Poked it away. Madden not hard enough to get it to the point. Shot back in off Colin White's stick by Rod Niedermayer. Ozolinsh stepped up to hold it in. Over to get it, Scott Niedermayer does battle with his brother. Came off the dasher to the point. Shot Keith Carney wide. Rebound. Niedermayer up again and out. Carney comes back to get it. We are seeing a lot more jump in the step of the Ducks in this game, and especially since they got that goal on the board. This is the way they played in the first 3 rounds. Back into the corner and behind the net. Rod Niedermayer with it. Oates trying to get a ride. Move back up. 13-11 the shots favor the Devils. Not a lot of chances either way, but when they've existed, they've been good.
To my imagination, or is Mike Babcock playing 2 lines?
It looks like it.
Oh, man.
Back over. Correa looking into the middle. Went off. Adamo's stick. Cleared back up. Friesen flying. Runs into Sauer, and down he goes. Back for it is Nick Havlat. Havlat's had a spectacular playoff season for this team. Cleared back out through center. Rafalski couldn't get it. Oates tried to tip it in. Stevens there. Stevens backed it up. Marshall off the board. Scott Stevens. Elias. Got it out of there. Again, Havlat will come back to pick it up. Nick Havlat with it. You see the shots in the game. Devils up by just 2. As the Ducks actually outshot them in that first period. That'll be touched on the ice.
You know, guys, when you have an opportunity to talk and meet hockey players, you talk to Scott Stevens. He understands the game, and of course, as we mentioned earlier, his nickname is Dad by his teammates. I still say, if you take the start of the season and go through, of course, you get rid of some of the defensemen as the playoffs move along, but who's had a better season as a defenseman than Scott Stevens? A better season. I'm talking about all the defensemen. All of them. I'm talking about a team that won the goals against, playing against the other team's best players, whether they're fast, whether they're big and strong and tough. All he does is get the job done.
And sets the tone for the entire team, because when anyone talks about the Devils, you talk about defense, and the first name mentioned, maybe Martin Brodeur or Scott Stevens.
But I still think he's underrated regarding the trophies, well, the Norris Trophy for the MVP amongst the defensemen. He's just been a great player again this year.
We will turn our focus a little closer in the direction of Scott Stevens of the New Jersey Devils, an avid deer hunter. Favorite movie, Braveheart. Go figure, huh? Named 5th most fearsome player in NHL history by the Sporting News. And boy, I'll tell you what, he's got to be top 5. Has never won the Norris Trophy. Finished second to Ray Bourque in 1988 and 1994. But he won the Conn Smythe Trophy in 2000 as the MVP of the playoffs. When it counts the most, Scott Stevens plays his best.
Jacob Krog sends that one back in off the far side. Chouinard has got the goal towards the net. Brodeur back to right back up. Colin White. White got it in the middle of Gomez. Marshall will send it in. Marshall, one of the late acquisitions for the Devils. And has it ever paid off for them here in the playoffs? Marshall cleared it up to the point. Gets it back in the corner. Marshall has had 5 goals and an assist this playoff year. Nobody expected him to do that. He shot that one right through the top of the paint. Salei, great clearing job on Elias, who slashed away at Salei behind the play. Moved in, onside, dumped behind the net. Krog came over to get it, still does. The Ducks were changing. Jason Krog had no one to go to. Bounced it in behind the net or tried. Thomas was there. He gets hit by Gomez. Thomas the puck. Thomas was looking to the point. Shot from there. Deflected. Straight up in the air and wide. Big tie up in front. Cheestoff, the man who tried to redirect the puck, got leveled. And that one goes off Brodeur and redirected by Thomas. Behind Ed Avalon. Cooking out in front. Thomas trying to center. Brodeur off the boards. Still, pattern goes on, down low, can't get it through the D. Devils need it clear. Great work, Cheestoff. Cheestoff leaves it, Thomas. Thomas in the corner. Thomas trying to send it in at a block. Tommy Avalon to get it. Avalon just wants to get it out of there.
What a shift that was. The Ducks have their fans pulling for them right now. Cheestoff needed a good shift. He missed one.
back in the pond. You're watching the National Hockey League at ABC Sports Championship Television. Great to have you with us here on ABC. Gary Thorne, Bill Clement, and John Davidson upstairs where the Mighty Ducks have a 1-0 lead in this Game 3. They got to win it. They know it. It's not a must-win in the technical sense, but you go down 3-0 in any series in the playoffs, and you're in deep, deep trouble. And they've got the lead on Chouinard's
You know
goal.
what? Madden didn't take that draw. Rayon did. Korea's on the ice. You wonder about Madden's arm.
Back onto the point. Shot there deflected to the near side. The Ducks continue their surge. Looking in front. Korea shot. Save! What a save! Brodeur kicked it with a left skate. Moved up by Langenbrunner. High save. He didn't know where it went up in the air, and it came out in front of him. Giguere making the save. Handoff to Stevens. Stevens a shot. That one blocked by Giguere. He had Rayon right in front looking to redirect over to Langenbrunner. Langenbrunner tied up, knocked down, taken away. And cleared, intended for Korea. Couldn't get to it. Rafalski dropped it back. Chipped in. No, wasn't touched. It's going to be an icing call.
You're right, JD. Madden actually went off and left Rayon to center his line. We're going to take a look at the save that Marty Brodeur made. Paul Korea had to reach for it. Didn't get much on it, but it was a little squibber that bounced through.
Well, Brodeur goes down expecting a low shot, and sure enough, the shot is low and hit him. Korea's had 2 good scoring chances in the game now, one in the first period, one here in the second period. You know, Paul Korea, I asked him about some of the other sports he plays. He's a pretty good boxer, and he's such a mild-mannered guy. He said at the 12 years of age, he was really into it. And his sister, by the way, is one of the best boxers in the province of Ontario. She's really good. She's going to turn pro.
That's why he gave it up. His sister was beating the heck out of him. Off the near side for Giannis. He says, I can go play hockey, and it's less rough than this. And behind the net, a haul down. Friesen got his man down. Breland got the puck. Breland. Paulson on him. Sammy Paulson had the tie-up. Little help now from Vitaly Wisniewski. Still can't get it out of the zone. Near side shot. White blocked in front. And Wisniewski plays it behind the net. Chistov trying to move it through center. He'll head there himself. Paulson feathers that one down the wall. Thomas coming over to get it. Behind the net, Thomas avoiding Niedermeyer. Thomas out in front. Centered, hit Breland, and Niedermeyer picks it off. Scott Niedermeyer talking about outstanding defensemen in the game. He's one of them. And behind the net, it'll be Salei off the boards as both teams change on the fly. 6:48 left to go. Second period of Game 3. The Devils won the first 2, but the Ducks have finally scored after being shut out in Games 1 and 2, 3-0. Played by the Devils, so no high stick call. Rafalski got it ahead. Grant Marshall dropped it. Gomez open. Gomez shot. Save Giguere. Got him with the left pad. And Gomez was wide open. In the corner of the battle. Elias reaching in. Elias got it. Flipped it back to Gomez. Gomez will chase. Gomez a goal and 2 assists in the last 2 games. Dump back towards the middle. Elias trying to redirect. Got knocked down. Puck came to the corner. Battles are good ones in this game. Along the wall. Back to center. Elias had to wait. Rafalski cleared it ahead to Langenbrunner. He's got a man open down the middle. Shot! Score! Oh. Bad line change! Bad line change by the Ducks. Elias just wide open. It is a 1-1 game.
And it may have been a real good line change by New Jersey. And what a shot. Giguere hardly moved.
He never moved.
He never moved. That was a top corner shot. It's like he was frozen.
I agree. We're going to have to look at it again, but Patrik Elias has tied the game on just a great feed, too, from Jamie Langenbrunner.
See, Elias was going to change, didn't change.
That's what it was. He decoyed. And Giguere still is.
Look how deep Giguere is. What a pass.
Feed.
Look how deep the goaltender is.
It's about the only daylight there is on Giguere.
From our Southwest Airlines goal cam, you will see Giguere hardly move a muscle. He twitched barely. The shot flat out beat him.
That tells you how disguising the shot was by Elias. Man, he just flipped his wrist and the puck was gone.
Rayon dumped it in. It is a 1-1 game as the Devils respond here in the second period. To tie it up, Elias the goal. Jason Krog blocked into the corner. Brodeur came back to get it. Almost got caught out of position. Krog tried to center, hit the net. Rebounded right through the middle on Ozolinsh on a centering pass. Back near side wall. Biesic will dump that one in. Laid back by Giguere. Look out. He does not do that well. When he comes up to handle the puck.
It's kind of scary, isn't it?
A lot of people stop breathing on the Ducks bench. Sent in.
Oh!
He got tied up and lost his stick.
Oh my gosh.
Just when you think you've seen it all, something else happens. Do you believe this? Martin Brodeur went to slide his stick out from his blocker,
and he dropped
his right hand, and he dropped it. And it hit his stick, carried him back through the legs, and you can see his reaction. That is one of the most embarrassing moments ever.
Watch this. I bet you he could try that 10 times in practice and never even execute it on the right angle. And he does it here in Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals. Yeah,
that is like the movie.
It is.
Oh my!
That's right out of the movie. Sandis Ozolinsh is the man who dumped it in. LeClaire back to the point. Shot wide by Keith Carney. And a 2-1 lead for the Ducks. Mercy, middle. Niedermeyer banned on it. Bounced away to Langenbrunner. Havlet's over there with it. Langenbrunner into the zone. Waiting. Looking into the middle. Just missed. Tried to set it up to Madden, who was cutting. LeClaire flips it off the boards. He gets tied up by Rafalski. Stevens came back to get it. LeClaire intercepted. LeClaire had it bounce away. Madden will come over. A 2-1 lead for the Ducks on a goal you would never call. 14:47. It is the second goal for Ozolinsh this playoff year and the 23rd of his career. 45 seconds after the Elias goal.
In most games, Scott Stevens is the hunter. Scott Stevens is the hunter. In this game, he is the hunted.
Rod Niedermeyer's had six hits, all against Stevens.
And you know, a lot of that's what happened in the locker room of the Ducks yesterday. Shot into Brodeur off Correa. That one got deflected, and Brodeur again had to make a quick save, adjusting to a shot that looked harmless. Correa trying to move it up ice. Gianna took it away. These players of the Ducks challenged themselves yesterday behind closed doors. Wouldn't talk much about it, but it was clear they went at one another. Babcock challenged the veterans. He said a lot of our people who've been around a while are not getting it done. And Giguere said, look, we've got to play with some passion and emotion in this game. And other players talked about it. Well, they're doing it. Moved back in by Crease and behind the net. Gianna gets knocked down by Sauer at the side of the net. Ozolinsh, Friesen stole it. Ozolinsh gives him a little face rub and a head wash into the ice. Back it comes to Sauer. 3:14 left to go in this second period. The Ducks up 2-1, whistled on the offside.
Stick was down.
You know the mighty Ducks wanted to come out and try to get something on Brodeur. They still do. I mean, if he's shaken up by the mistake he made, now's the time to test him.
Back into the middle, another deflection on the Oates centering pass. Correa picks it up. Sikora's with him on this line. Oates trying to get a shot off, but it's cleared out. And for the first time in these three games, the Devils are actually a little bit on their heels. Sent wide side. Madden, he'd already gone by. Oates picks it up. Adam Oates moves it. Keith Carney, a defenseman, back to Oates. Oates all alone. Centering pass, just deflected off bodies to the near side. Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer looking for Scott Stevens. Stevens gains the blue, sent it in. Pandolfo a chance, blocked, and played behind the net. 2:28 left to go, second period. 18-16 shots on the game. Knocked away to the side. Devils have the advantage in shots, but not on the board. Paul Correa back out. Correa looking. Niedermeyer was cutting. Gunned it hard around the boards for Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer gets pinned up by his brother. Clears the far side. Niedermeyer behind the net. Rob Niedermeyer, Scott Niedermeyer. They've met a few times out there. And they're still at it along the wall. Stevens back. Pushes it up. Not out. LeClaire. LeClaire centered. Turnaround went wide. Steve Ruchin banged off the back of the net. Langenbrunner. Amy Langenbrunner, former Dallas star who played against the Devils in the Stanley Cup Finals. Now playing in the finals with the Devils. Sauer had it pinned up. Steve Ruchin looking. Little room off the near side boards. Correa. He goes to the bench. Ozolinsh moved it in. He turned around, didn't have anyone to go to. As an odd man rush the other way. Here comes Madden. Madden shot! And he ripped it up high, and Elias with him. Thomas moves it up. Thomas coming LeClaire and trailer. Thomas in, leaves it Ozolinsh. Ozolinsh draws it back. Shot deflected wide. That went off Colin White. Game opens up. Devils moving it up again, trying to get the odd man into the zone. Elias spins it. Elias waiting, dropped it down the middle. White, save made. Colin White with a rip shot, and Giguere knocked it away. White back at center. Down to 1:04 left here in the period. Paulson had lost it. Ozolinsh batted it away. 1 minute to go in the period. Moving back in, Cheestop. Thomas on the far side. Looking to the front of the net. Thomas trying to get somebody set up. Rafalski, though, knocked him away from the puck. Move back up, Gomez. Gomez stripped to the puck. Great read, Cheestop. Cheestop dropped it in the middle. Goes on goal, and Brodeur's got a cover.
Earlier in the period, Cheestop missed a shift. Since that point forward, he's picked his game up. Bill, we've watched the Devils play a lot in the playoffs. They get odd man rushes, and almost every time they have a 2-on-1, they don't pass. They shoot, shoot, shoot. The last time Madden missed the net, but do you think that's almost like an unwritten team rule?
Possibly, but I think it's a pretty good choice. You stand a chance of screwing up the whole play when you try the pass, and you know what? It's almost as good as a breakaway, except with a little different angle. You got a clear shot.
Off this face-off, Adam Oates shot in on Brodeur, he'll glove it. And J.S. Giguere has been given an assist on that goal by Ozolinsh, the second goal. So Giguere joins Brodeur on the point side of the ledger. First career playoff point.
Good for him. The way he stood up and challenged his own teammates yesterday, I think took a lot of courage for a goaltender to do that. Usually the goaltender's the quiet one. But not here. He stood up and challenged his teammates. And I was just everybody this morning around the organization saying, isn't that great what Giguere did?
Well, they finally were seeing a little emotion. There's going to be a penalty coming behind the play, and I think it's going to be on Sikora.
And Niedermayer was pulled down. 28.1 seconds to go here in this second period.
26 Anaheim's looking.
Not a happy Mike Babcock.
That's 39, not 26.
I agree. He called Sammy Paulson, but Peter Sikora went.
Paulson wasn't on the ice.
Sikora knew. Our Dodge Intermission report coming up. We've only got 28.1 left playing time here in the second period. Stand by for that. Power play coming. Third of the game for the Devils. They are 0 for 2. Sikora the hooking in 1931. Peter Sikora is the former New Jersey Devil who had struggled through the first two games for the Ducks. Davidovsky sends that one in around the near side boards. Niedermayer. Power play underway here for New Jersey. 8 seconds left in the period. Batted away. Langenbrunner puts it back on the point. Rafalski's got time. Saved by Giguere. Langenbrunner rebound. The horn goes. And none too soon for the Ducks.
We are back on Mighty Ducks Classics, now through 2 periods of play in Game 3 of the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals, and the Mighty Ducks enjoy a 2-1 lead. Let's go back to the first period, though, Brian, before the goal scoring. The Mighty Ducks come out with a great deal of energy in this game. They take a couple penalties in the first 4 minutes. Is this an edict from Mike Babcock that maybe manifests itself the wrong way?
You know going into that game that Mike Babcock was saying to his players, we got pushed around in New Jersey. We cannot allow that to happen. We're in our own building. He really fires up the troops going into Game 3. And the other thing that I'm sure that everybody recognized here, the Devils had the worst power play in the National Hockey League over the course of the regular season. So there's not a huge deterrent there to take a few liberties with these players. And I'm sure that Mike hammered that point home. And this was a much different looking Mighty Duck team. I thought they really carried the physical play to the Devils. And remember, New Jersey is known as one of the more physical teams in the NHL. It was a huge challenge for the Ducks. Find a way not only to use their speed in order to beat this team, but also either match them or even take it up a notch higher in terms of the physical play. And they did that in the opening period.
Early in the second, the Ducks finally get a goal. After over 143 minutes without scoring a goal in this series, 7+ periods, they get the goal. Twofold here. You get it from your fourth line, Marc Chouinard, but how important is this goal finally ending this streak? I mean, is this something for the media, or does it get in the players' heads?
A little bit of both, I think, actually, because a little bit for the media because the streak has been going on so long. I think the second longest one in NHL history to start a Stanley Cup Final. But the bottom line for the Ducks is this. I think they were more concerned with how they were playing the game. And I thought they were getting a little bit better of the play than the New Jersey Devils were. This was a much different looking Anaheim team. They were being more physical. They weren't piling up a ton of shots against Martin Brodeur or a ton of scoring chances. But the reality when you play the Devils, you're not going to get that many. And I think you just have to be satisfied in general with how you were playing. And I thought that the Ducks probably went back into that period after the first period and after the second period and said, you know what, now we're playing our style of game.
Okay, you're down 2-0 in the series. It's a must-win, not a must-win, but you've got a goal from a fourth liner, and you get the fluke goal from Ozolinsh. Now it's really a must-win, isn't it?
Well, actually, I thought it was a must-win going into that game. You go down 3-0 to a team that has Stanley Cup experience and a whole bunch of Stanley Cup rings in the locker room, and you're dead. So they had to find a way to win this game. But I think in the back of the players' minds, when you get a goal from Chouinard on the fourth line, nothing to take away from Marc, but he only played about 5.5 minutes in that game. When you get a goal from your fourth-line players, when you score a fluke goal against Martin Brodeur, who makes virtually no mistakes once the Stanley Cup playoffs roll around, you have to find a way to get it done and win the game. So in that respect, the pressure was elevated a little bit.
And finally, offensively speaking, you mentioned maybe not a ton of great chances through the first two periods, but what chances and what offense that the Ducks seem to be generating, all is coming through number 8. Sandis Ozolinsh is playing Sandis-esque. He is jumping into the play. He's making things happen, not only with his plays, but with his passes, and everything the Ducks are generating seems to be coming through him.
You know, in this series between the Devils and the Ducks, you have two great offensive defensemen on the ice, and quite often they're on the ice at the same time. We're talking about Scott Niedermayer of the Devils, who I consider to be the best offensive-minded defenseman in the NHL. And then you have Ozolinsh, who's kind of the X factor for Anaheim, because he plays kind of that risk-reward style of play. In some games he gets caught up ice an awful lot, and they get quality chances going the other direction. But I think especially in a series where you're having a tough time generating shots and generating quality scoring opportunities, I'm sure Mike Babcock went to him and said, Sandis, you got to lead the charge here from the blue line. You know, when you look at Ozolinsh and you look at Nick Haviland, they had not become a factor in this series as of yet, but boy, did Sandis ever pick up his game in Game 3.
He's got an assist and a goal at this point in time. The Ducks are up 2-1. If they can hang on and win the game, they'll be down 2-1 in the series. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, the third period of Game 3 from the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals.
They do it. The Mighty Ducks finally getting on the board. They have a 2-1 lead going to the third. They've not lost with a lead. Going into the third period, they are 5-0 in the playoffs with a lead. These two goaltenders have set a mark themselves jointly. There it is. Offensive-minded goaltenders.
And just thinking of the goal that Martin Brodeur allowed, where he lost his stick, it's just a strange thing. Power play to begin the third.
Still a minute 23 right now left on that penalty to the Ducks. So the Devils, the power play opportunity to start this third period. As New Jersey will be whistled on that one on the offside, and a face-off back out at center. Ducks win. They'll be on the board, and the series will be 2-1.
Both of these teams are undefeated when they score first as well, and the Mighty Ducks drew first blood in this one.
Paul Kariya's had a couple of shots after being shut out in the last game without a shot for the first time in 30 playoff games in his career. Brodeur reaches up, could not get to that one. And taken behind the net by Rafalski. Back into the middle. Elias with it. Elias will send that one into the zone. Giguere just left it there to be played. Freeland came to get it. Back onto the point. Rafalski down the half wall. Turning, looking. Elias wants to go to the middle. Had nobody there. Goes back onto the point. Rafalski with it. Power play still underway. On for Elias. Elias behind the net. Had it poke checked away. Freeland moves in. He and Carney collide. Up to the boards again. Rafalski holds it in. Leaves it Niedermayer. Shot, missed it, short side. Rebounded back. Rafalski's got it. 28 on the advantage. Devils on a power play here in the third. Down low, Langenbrunner. Into the middle. Tip pass. Shot Rafalski. Save made. That came straight through, and Giguere held his ground. Rafalski again. Shot blocked into the seats.
Giguere had some traffic in front of him on that sequence. Keith Carney was actually throwing straight right into the jaw of Jamie Langenbrunner. I mentioned earlier the Devils in the third period and why you want to be ahead going into the third. They've outscored their opponents 23-9 in third periods and OT in this year's playoff run.
My question is why? Is it because the other team has to open up and they counter and score? Is it because they're in better shape? Is it because they're just a better team?
Going to find out right here because now they're down. They've got to try and make a comeback. Tommy Ahlers is up at a point. He's got it. Power play down to 2 seconds left on it. Looking into the middle for Grant Marshall. Can't find him. Penalty's over. Shot blocked right in front. Picked up by Jason Crow. That went off the blocker and fell straight down. 2 shots in the power play for the Devils, but they do not convert on it. It remains a 2-1 Anaheim lead, and we're 5-on-5 hockey again. That'll be sent in behind the net on a line change, so Gomez just dumped it in deep. Move back off the near side. Ducks Leclerc with it. Crow in offside. Third period, Stanley Cup Finals. This is game 3. The Devils won the first 2.
Watching this game move along, you've mentioned a number of times, guys, about Niedermayer playing against Niedermayer, brother against brother. Twice, Scott Niedermayer for the Devils has won the cup. He's brought the cup during the offseason back to Cranbrook, British Columbia, where the 2 brothers live. Rob, the brother that didn't win, has looked at it, but he has not once touched the cup. Refuses to until he's on a team that wins it himself.
A great tradition among hockey players in the National Hockey League, and even those who haven't made it yet to the NHL, you do not touch that cup until you have won.
Tradition / superstition.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Come on, help me carry this. Carry it yourself. I'm not touching it.
Cleared back through center. Here comes Niedermayer into the zone. Niedermayer pushed by Colin White. Niedermayer behind the net. Colin White stays right with him. Niedermayer still got the puck. Looking for the clear in front of the crowd. Save Brodeur! Doorstep chance on a redirection. Martin Brodeur knocks it down.
Krog has given his team a few good shifts. He was on the ice when they scored the 1-0 goal, and he almost made it 3-1 here. Niedermayer worked the puck in the zone, and he's had a solid game in front. Martin Brodeur's stick.
Scott Niedermayer, for some reason, left Jason Krog. He had him, and then he skated away from him. Niedermayer had 2 men. That's why there were a couple out there, and he decided to go and get Mike Leclerc.
It was 3-on-3. He thought Giunta was going to get him. Didn't happen. And Brodeur intercepted the pass with his goal stick and never did get through to Krog.
Niedermayer back on the bench. Brodeur with another stop. The face-offs decidedly in favor of Anaheim through 2 periods. 62% of the draws have gone to Anaheim. Paul Correa will move in to take the face-off. Correa hadn't taken a draw in the first 2 periods. Ozolinsh fanned on it. Sikora couldn't get to it. Rolled to center. Salei, Ozolinsh, Correa out there with Oates and Sikora for virtually every even strength shift they've had in this game, except for the very beginning. There's Sikora, a goal scorer. In fact, he led them during the regular season with goals scored as he picked up 34. Into the corner, couldn't control it. Stevens comes over to get it. Scott Stevens has been a marked man. Paul Correa gave him a little rub. Here's Madden down the middle. Madden in, shot deflected. Penalty coming as Madden got hacked on the way through. He wanted a penalty shot, and the official said no. Bill McCurry even smiling about it.
Number 24, 2 for Hook.
Ruslan Salei was coming back. Madden found a seam, and with his speed, actually a pretty good job by Salei not to end up with a penalty shot awarded to John Madden.
You have to be clearly in front of the man chasing you, and he wasn't.
And denied a reasonable scoring opportunity, and he actually had a reasonable scoring opportunity.
I saw it written in the Toronto Star. He was talking about Madden and his speed is what drew that penalty. He said he has the speed of a cheetah. That's pretty accurate.
Flying pretty good there. The hooking call on Salei at 3:15. This is the 4th power play of the game now for the Devils. The New Jersey Devils, 1 power play goal in this series. Bounced off the near side. Chance for them to get this game tied. Third around. Davidovsky is out there on the power play, along with Niedermayer on the blue line. They've got Marshall set up in front of the net. Shot. Davidovsky deflected. Played by Carney out of the zone. That did not get through. Ducks change up their power play unit. Intercepted on the penalty kill, rather. Moving back. Niedermayer down the middle. Short-handed. Puck was poked away at the last second by Scott Niedermayer. Rob Niedermayer, his brother, with it. Dropped it back. Nick Havlet. Havlet will just hold it in. They're running time off the clock here. The Ducks are. The Devils back on the power play chance. Gomez sends it in. 1 minute left on the advantage. Paulson clear to the zone. Devils will have to start from behind their own net yet one more time. They scored a league low 36 power plays during the regular season, with a league low 303 chances. Into the middle. Tommy Ahlers. They change up power play unit. Rafalski's at a point now. They've got Gianna down low. Rafalski looking. He's the only man back in the umbrella power play, the 1-2-2. Still looking for Gianna in front. Come back to Tommy Ahlers. Ahlers, defenseman, leaves it. Shot Rafalski got blocked and cleared by Keith Carney.
And the puck goes into the bench, so there's a stoppage. Carney with a great penalty kill. Banging people, knocking people down, intercepting passes. He's been terrific.
Nice rush here moments ago. Full head of steam for Rob Niedermayer. Kind of rush that might bring you out of your chair, especially if you're a Mighty Ducks fan like Michael Eisner, the chairman and CEO of Walt Disney Company. Come on, baby. Come on, Robbie. Give me one.
Now, I'm not sure if that's his son beside him, but his son's a goaltender. Played a little bit at Denver University.
Yep. And a great hockey program there. Move back on the point. Power play's got 10 seconds left on it. Niedermayer looking. No shots here. Breland just skates it around the wall. Back to Niedermayer. Niedermayer over Rafalski. That one deflected into the slot. No shots on the power play. Penalty over. Salei back out on the ice. Heads to the bench. That one will be sent in, and it'll be an icing on the touch. Let's check in with Darren Pang. Darren.
Gary, as we all know, Martin Brodeur is one of the great puck handlers that will ever play this game of hockey. In this game, and particularly early on, he was a little slow at getting to pucks. He went to the backhand, went to a little loop, came back to the net. Marc Chouinard scored. He wasn't quite set. On the goal, obviously the stick slipped out of his hand and went into the net. Check out the small tape knob that he has on the end. If he would have slid his hand down on that shaft and a bigger knob, it would have kept it in his hand a lot better than that.
We were joking, Panger, between periods about how much tape he would add to the knob of that stick.
And most of the time, you keep the knob there for two reasons. One, when you slide your hand down, it stops the stick from sliding out of your hand. The other is if you drop it, you can pick it up easier.
Forget the knob. Go to the pine tar.
That's right. Then you can blame the bat boy.
Yeah.
Move back for Keith Carney. A 2-1 Ducks lead as they try and get their first win of the Stanley Cup Finals against the Devils. Colin White came all the way across ice. Didn't get the full check on that time, though, on Sikora. Centering pass, banged up in the air to Salei. Salei dumped it in behind the net down to Oates. Oates looking. Sikora was cutting. Pass blocked by Stevens. Stevens remains out there against this line when Korea's out, as it has been for all three games. Salei takes it back in behind the net. The Ducks on top. They scored first. Chouinard getting his first ever playoff goal. Elias tied it, and then that strange goal that Ozolinsh put in from center ice on the misplay by Brodeur. Brodeur will glove that one and hang on. The Ducks looking to do just that. Hang on in the third period with a 2-1 lead.
Goaltender Giguere is getting married at the end of the month. His fiancée Kristen joining me right now, and you picked the date. Did you think of that with the Stanley Cup Finals in mind?
Of course, you have to. When you're in hockey, you have to always plan for the best thing that you can get, which is the Stanley Cup. So we planned our wedding date after that, as you always have to.
The date is June 21st. Jiggy is a newfound celebrity. How is he dealing with the fame?
Oh, it's great. Everything that we're doing right now, it's all, first-time stuff for us, and we're just really enjoying it and taking advantage while we can because, this is all once-in-a-lifetime stuff. So it's been great, really exciting.
Have the lead now, but they are down 0-2 in the series. Is it tough to watch him play?
It's always tough to watch him play, especially now. The stakes are higher, and, I think we're down 2 games, but it doesn't mean the end. I think there's a long way to go, and I think we can definitely do it even with what the standings are now.
And then you will be getting jiggy with it too, right?
Yes, I will.
Gary?
Back upstairs, Pandolfo held it in. The shot gets blocked. Great effort right there on the turnover by Jay Pandolfo.
Listen, I don't know if those pearls were real.
McClair shot. That gets blocked into the corner. Chances at each end. Kicked in on the near side. Pandolfo didn't clear. Leclaire down low. Niedermayer. Poke checked away from him by Colin White. The Ducks hold it in again, centered by Steve Ruchin. Pandolfo took it away. Madden's got it. Mangan with Lagenbrunner. Shot. Madden save made by Giguere.
I'm going to say, guys, I don't know if his fiance's pearls were real, but he keeps playing like this. They'll be real when he gets a new contract. I'll tell you that.
Kristen is from Halifax, where JS played junior hockey, and that's where they're going to be married. He said, don't worry about Kristen. She's a good Canadian girl. She can handle the pressure. John Madden shot the puck there on Giguere with a little bit of zip on it. Why is that significant? It looked like he damaged his wrist or his left arm in the second period. He missed taking a few face-offs, but he looked like he had pretty good mustard on that shot. So John Madden's part junkyard dog. It's going to take more than that to keep him out of this game.
All four centers for the Devils are left-handed. Breland's taking this one. He's coming back from a bad wrist he injured earlier in the season. Is that one reason why they're not having great success that way?
Breland, a backhander into the corner. Sure doesn't help.
Well, Breland won only 3 of 16 in Game 2, and he lost his first 6 here in Game 3, so obviously it's a factor.
Colin White with a shot from the blue line, held on to by Giguere. Off the draw, one back to Ozolinsh, clears it around the near side to Friesen, who intercepted right through the middle. Devils have come this close to getting this game tied up here in the last couple of shifts. Jason Krog runs it in at the other end. Backhand chance. Brodeur kicked it away. Good backhand opportunity. Krog getting more ice time here as his play has certainly made it justifiable. He didn't have much in the first. Went off the boards. Gianna, G-stop do battle. Dug out of there by Paulson. He gains the red and sends it in. Brodeur watching as it goes behind the net. Came out to play it. Cleared it around. G-stop cut it off. G-stop sends it in. Brodeur knocked it down. Back it comes to Friesen, odd man. Friesen sees it. Friesen looking, takes a shot at it, blocked. He had Madden cutting on the other wing. Madden pays the price by Ozolinsh, who hit him. Back, Friesen, chance, save! Rebound, swept away by Salei. Madden was there again in front of the net, and it goes up and into the crowd.
Ducks were lucky. That rush up ice, Madden ended up behind the net. 2 Ducks hit him. When 2 hit 1, that means somebody's open, and somebody was in front. And the Devils didn't score, but it was close.
But when John Madden was at a full tear, Gary, if he was a cheetah, then Jason Krog was a gazelle because he stayed right with him. He is really fast, Jason Krog, and he had to be to stay with Madden. It looked like it was going to be a 2-on-1. Krog negated it.
Jason Krog, who 4 years in New Hampshire was known as Jason Krog. We've gone through this 1,000 times. His mother, folks, we believe in Mom. His mother says it is Krog.
And Jason the other day said it's Krog. So Mrs. Krog/Krog, will you please call us at ESPN?
I'm going, Mom.
I am not going to say otherwise. Off the near side boards, gets flipped away. Elias, quick shot, save, rebound, loose. Giguere could not hang on to it. Elias, open near side, tried to center it, had it blocked. That was blocked by Ruchin, dumped into the corner. Chances for the Devils here as the Ducks swarming to try and help Giguere. Giguere makes a save on Elias again. Elias is in the slot. Gomez looking for it. Gomez with the defense cutting. Niedermeyer was down low. Sauer knocked it down. Shot Marshall. Score! Deflected, I believe, in front. Gomez was in front.
This is about 40 consecutive seconds of pressure by the Devils, and twice Giguere made saves on the angle, and both times the rebound got away from him. He couldn't kill the play.
I agree. I don't think Giguere looks as confident as he had earlier in the playoffs, but give this line a lot of credit. They really came alive. Gomez is the centerman. Yeah, Scott Gomez got a chunk of it. Patrik Elias has really come alive in this series. And Grant Marshall, well, I mean, he wasn't supposed to score or pick up points. He's a force.
Ay, ay, ay.
That's hockey.
It
Gomez,
is a 2-2 game.
Can you imagine 23 years of age, 4th year pro, and he's in his 3rd Stanley Cup Final. Talking about Gomez.
Easy
That's an
game,
amazing
right?
thing.
Easy game.
Wow. He's probably made more money in bonus money from the playoffs by getting to the finals for the 3rd time, winning it twice, than you and I might have made in our careers.
Gomez has had good series, bad series, good series, bad series. He's picked it up here in the finals.
Marshall kept the play alive about 3 different times on that shift. Wow, what a goal. That's a huge, big-time goal by the Devils.
He's got fantastic soft hands, Scott Gomez does. That was an incredible deflection.
A 3-game scoring streak now for Scott Gomez. 2 goals, 2 assists. That one's going to be whistled, and now it's 2-2.
It's Scott Gomez hour. He has just scored. We will focus on Scott Gomez, the first Hispanic player drafted in the first round of the NHL. Yes, soap operas as well. He appeared on One Life to Live, one of People magazine's top 50 bachelors in the year 2001. If he keeps appearing in the Stanley Cup Finals, he might make the top 10.
He won't be eligible much longer.
There you go.
9-11, time of the goal. Gomez gets his third of the playoffs, second of this series. Marshall and Elias get the assists, all even strength goals. Hard ball right there by Oleg Tverdovsky. He's all right. He didn't get tripped or anything. He just fell. Now halfway through the third period. It's 2-2.
Remember how the Devils come alive in third periods. JD, you put out a couple of theories as to why the Devils are successful. These guys just turn into studs, I think, in the third period. Of all the teams that become more calm, more driven, they got Scott Stevens on the back end, John Madden just as a big game player. They've got a lot of big game players.
Yeah, and Lou Lamoriello, their GM guys, has reacquired 9 players that he's had in the past. So they know the system, they know the style, they know what the life's about as a Devil off the ice, how they travel, everything. It just fits their system.
They get people who have to fit this system or you don't stay. He's guarding on the far side. Attempted clear by Ruchin, did not get out of the zone. Pavlik backed it up. Under 10 minutes left to go in the third period of a 2-2 game. Niedermeyer sent it in. Ozolinsh in the corner. Career down low. Picked up by Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer moves it. Tried to get a pick from Oates. Couldn't. Gianna got it. Breland was the man who poke-checked it away. Knocked away by Niedermeyer. Shots are 27-22. Devils have the advantage there. They have answered with a tying goal third. Oates looking. Pushed away. Gianna. Sikora. Shot. Blocked by Niedermeyer. Breland clears. Devils trying to turn it on. Brian Gianna down the middle on Ozolinsh. Save made Giguere. Kicked away to the corner. Oates will play it. A whistle and a penalty. A slashing call. At least one. We'll pick him up.
14 slash.
When we come back, a power play. You're watching the National Hockey League on ABC Sports Championship Television.
According to Jim, Belushi looks like this.
By the way, he's a big Chicago Blackhawk fan. Big Chicago Blackhawk fan.
He's a Ducks fan now because he's sitting in the box with Eisner.
On the left side, Gianta took the shot, came down on the hands of Ozolinsh. You could hear during live play Ozolinsh yell, ouch! The referee heard it, and power play time for the Ducks.
10:35 slashing call. This is only the second power play for the Ducks in this game. They are still looking for their first power play goal against the Devils in the series as they have an 0-for-6 going. That one hit the netting. Players pointing it out in a hustle to get the whistle, and they do. Want to remind you, this broadcast is also available in high definition to give you the great wide shots. And may I say, our crew came out here, a lot of them taking early morning flights yesterday, worked all day up till 2 o'clock this morning, and came back here at 6:30 or 7 o'clock this morning to get this set up for this game. They are the best on TV. Hit the outside of the net. Sikora. Center. Block. Ruchin's chance. Ruchin drops it off. Power play underway here. Steve Ruchin. Stevens on him. Stevens and Ruchin. New battle along the wall. Down went Paul Correa. Got back up. Comes to the point. Looking. The Devils challenging the puck. Into the middle. Havlat. What a pile up in front. Sticks up in the air. Shot blocked. That hits Stevens. And Stevens complaining that he got hit in the face with a stick. His argument in vain.
Sikora had the great chance. Caught the outside low of the goalpost. A beautiful pass across. No, I'm sorry. It was a fan shot that went to Sikora, and he hit the goalpost.
He was trying to do that.
Thanks, Bill. You bailed me out there. I appreciate it, man. Teamwork.
Worked on that in practice.
A minute and 12 seconds to go, and what may be the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim's most important power play of the entire hockey season, if they can get one.
Get that lead back with 8:35 left to go. They've got a minute 7 left to go in this power play. Sikora led them with 15 power play goals during the season. LeClaire could not handle that. Keep in mind the Devils shorthanded are really dangerous. Like this. Rayon poke checked away at the last minute by Ozolinsh.
How smooth.
Oh, man. White drops it back in his own end to Niedermeyer, the penalty-killing unit of the Devils. Gunned in, length of the ice. Down to 42 left on the advantage. Ozolinsh takes it in behind the net. 2-2 game, third period. Devils win. They have a 3-0 lead in the series. LeClaire trying to drop it off twice. Niedermayer down low. Niedermayer turning it. White stays on him. Left it for Oates, but did not connect on the pass. Scott Niedermayer trying to move it out. Can't. Oates was there to help out. LeClaire drops it back along the wall. Rolled in on Brodeur and almost went between his skates.
Well, he tried to scoop it up with his trapper. He went for the pick right off the ice and just about rolled it between his legs again.
That would have been an error.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That would have been an error. Power play's got 3 seconds left on it for the Ducks. Near side, Cheestop. Power play over. They got 1 shot. So nobody can get a power play goal here. Up ice was Gianna. Ozolinsh for the second time makes a great play. He got back just in the nick of time. Correa in the middle. Correa shot. That deflects. Martin Brodeur and a piece. Brodeur knocked it away with a glove. And he's going to be wondering what's in that puck right now, like a Mexican jumping bean. Down the middle, Cheestop. Poke checked away Rafalski. Gomez steals it. Gomez cleared. Nobody there. Icing coming. No, they wave it off. They wave off the icing. Keith Carney had to come back to get it.
Power play did not work for the Ducks, but it seems to have given them something as far as momentum goes because they've gotten back the game inside the Devils zone at least a little bit.
Elias turned the play. Cleared through the middle. Chouinard did not touch that on the right side of the line. That will be an icing call. 2-2, third period.
Well, for the big mistake Brodeur made in the second period, he was living right on this Paul Correa chance. Look at that.
Oh.
That was in, but for the shaft of the stick, the handle above the blocker on Martin Brodeur.
Second time in the game, the puck has hit the handle above the blocker on Martin Brodeur.
Oh.
Second time. Not many times do you get lucky that many times in a game.
Paul Correa, who led the Ducks during the regular season with 81 points. Up the near side wall, Devils held it in momentarily. Niedermayer knocks it away. Nick Hoblet came over to get it. Hoblet cleared it out. Dropped back Jason Crow. Niedermayer. Niedermayer's got Ruchin cutting. Niedermayer trying to go by Colin White. He gives chase. Reverses direction. Niedermayer still has it. Gomez reached in, poked it away. Grant Marshall. Marshall will flip that one to center. Hoblet trying to move it up ice, did not. Gomez guns it into the zone. Devils will change. Keith Carney back in his own end. 17,174. Full house. On hand here at the Pond, seeing a great game 3. Brodeur behind the net. Thomas trying to get his stick, couldn't do it. Niedermayer moved it up. Gianna couldn't reach it. Laid back off the Cheestop stick. Moving in Paulson. Drops it Cheestop. Cheestop shuts it down. Moves in. His shot deflected. And the rebound came wide. Brodeur blocked it. Brodeur was out of the net, but Thomas couldn't find it for the rebound chance. 5:24 left in the third. A delayed call on the offside. Hope you are enjoying this one. The Stanley Cup Finals on ABC, and this game up for grabs. Cheestop, one of the rookies that's had experience all season long in this team. He's had 2 goals in the last 13 games. Just turned 20 years old. Moved up to the red line. Devils dump it in. 5:17 left in the third. Breland! He got to it, but he shot it high. Rebounded the back of the net. Ozolinsh blocked the second chance by Gianna. Here's Cheestop again with Thomas. They keep that line right out there with that delay to fix the glass. Far side, Gianna. Gianna moves it into the middle. Breland. Breland trying to get it to Crease. Had it poke checked away. Ozolinsh then move it out of the zone. Play by Breland to hold it in. Comes near side to Thomas. Steve Thomas. Nothing in the last 6 games offensively for him, but he has battled in this one, playing a physical game. Langenbrunner leaves it in the middle. Just a little too far for Jay Pandolfo. Keith Carney dumped that one back. Both teams changing up. 4:30 left to go. Third period. Tipped into the zone. Ruchin looking. His shot blocked into the corner. Tried to set that up in front of the net for LeClaire, who was cutting. LeClaire in the corner does battle. Ruchin steals it. Ruchin pushes it away. LeClaire gets it behind the net. Niedermayer. Niedermayer, the 2 brothers at it again. Block. LeClaire's open. Centered Ruchin, but he deflected wide. In behind the net. Ruchin ties his man up. Niedermayer, LeClaire collide. Langenbrunner gets it. Langenbrunner gets it out of the zone. Here comes Madden with Pandolfo. Shuts it down. Trying to get it into Pandolfo. Blocked Keith Carney. Carney will circle it and get it out of the zone. Both teams going to change here. Niedermayer near side. 3:50 left in regulation. White won't give him a chance. Niedermayer and White do battle along the wall. Niedermayer came away with it. Niedermayer looking for Correa, high slot. Niedermayer moves it in. Niedermayer, Correa sets a pick. Correa can't control the puck. Centering pass gets blocked right back to him. Paul Correa centers again. Niedermayer shot, side of the net, hit a skate, and it's covered.
What an effort by Rob Niedermayer. This is at the end of a very long shift. He had energy. He made plays. He set up Correa, who couldn't release the shot. So he then returned the puck to Niedermayer, and Brodeur makes a save.
It's pretty good for kind of a makeshift line with Rob Niedermayer out there. He didn't get a chance to get off it. Again with the handle. Well, it's part of the equipment. Ay, ay, ay.
I guess if you get the handle in the right spot, that's the third time in this game that the puck has hit the handle of the goal stick.
We are late in this game. They've scored the game-winning goal in the final 5 minutes or overtime in 8 of the 12. Both of these teams are one-goal game teams. They were 1-2 in the NHL during the regular season in wins and one-goal games. The Devils got 2 more points than the Ducks did in one-goal affairs. Ozolinsh back to get it, touches that one up for an icing call. Now these face-offs really matter with 3:07 left in the third.
And the Mighty Ducks really with an advantage in the face-offs. Shots on goal breakdown for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim in their first 14 games. 28.9. Games 1 and 2 in this series, 16, and they're back to just about average in game 3. 9 scoring chances in this third period so far for the Mighty Ducks and only 3 for the Devs.
I agree. It's the quality of shots the Mighty Ducks are now getting, and they're winning a lot of face-offs. So every face-off late like this in the Devils zone means a ton.
Going to try and draw back here. Maybe Ozolinsh, who's at the blue line. That's what Paulson will try and do with it. Rayon's going to want to draw this puck back. Stevens on the near side wall. He intended to go get it. He cut his man off, and Rafalski played it. Well, Rayon won the face-off. Defensive draw. Rolls in on Giguere. Salei came back to play it. Salei up off the wall, chipped out of the zone. Devils will get back on side. Bisick near side couldn't reach it. Ozolinsh again got it away. 2:48 left here, third period. This game is tied at 2-2. Bisick knocked that one down. Ozolinsh back. Goals by Chouinard and Ozolinsh for the Ducks. Elias and Gomez for the Devils. Gomez goal coming here in the third. The tie this game up at 9-11. Bounce behind the net. Thomas. Paulson in front. Tied up. Gomez flips it up to the Devils bench.
The young player Bisick getting a shift late in a 2-2 Stanley Cup Final game, and he was a right winger earlier in the game, Bill. And on this shift, he was playing left wing.
Pat Burns is pretty well working everybody into this third period, including Tommy Alberlin and Oleg Tverdovsky. Hasn't played Jim McKenzie. It's almost like he wants to make sure everybody is set if there's an overtime. On the other bench, Mike Babcock has hardly used Kurt Sauer, and he's hardly used Vitaly Vishnevsky. That means he's going pretty well with 4 defensemen.
Well, they don't have much choice, do they? They have to win. They have to win. It's very simple.
Another face-off win by the Devils. John Madden won that one. Madden came up to get it. Havlat got to it first. Back come the Ducks. Ruchin down the middle. His shot. Save made, and Brodeur will cover.
The reason why that's such a tough shot is that Ruchin used the defenseman White as a screen, and Brodeur's got to find the puck coming past the skate or leg of the defender. Here's a good look at it. White backs up. They give the blue line up, and here's the shot through the legs. And a good save and good rebound control on that play by Martin Brodeur, who looks a little more steady the last 10 minutes.
Why? Because he hasn't made a save with the shaft of his stick?
I just think he looks more steady. Earlier he was just, he wasn't getting any work, and he just looks more steady now.
Darren Pang addressed that between periods, and he was right. He said, I expect him to come out here and be really strong. I mean, nothing really phases him. Mr. Happy-go-lucky even when he makes a mistake.
Mighty Ducks with a big advantage in face-offs with the Devils winning defensive draws. That one the Ducks got. Ruchin set that up to Niedermayer, who shot it wide. Played back by Rafalski, 2 to go in regulation. Game tied at 2-2. Shots are even at 28. Gianna trying to run it in. Ruchin knocked it away. He'll send it back deeper, and that's going to be whistled. It's a delayed offside.
Carney stayed up and knocked down Gianta. Carney was a forward when he was a kid, and then he said, all of a sudden, one year I grew, and I grew so much, and they said, you can't play forward anymore. We're going to make you a defenseman. Here's a big size difference here.
Gianna's feet were in the air when the puck crossed the blue line, and that's why it was offside. If you're going along and you jump into the air, you're off.
Breland against Oates, and Breland is going to win that face-off. From the near side. Scott Stevens sends it in. Minute 43 left in the third period. Freeland hits Paul Correa, freed the puck up, shot back in, knocked down Carney with a high stick, probably. Devils touch it though, so there'll be no whistle. Off the near side wall and out of the zone. Stevens is there. Stevens just chipped it a little bit, trying to hit Freeland. Freeland tied up. Sikora tied him up. Pass into the zone, knocked away as Salei trying to get it in. Back down to Oates. Oates had it knocked away again by Freeland. In their own end, Freeland up in the check. Ruslan Salei, a minute 11 left to go. We're in the third period of Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals, and the Ducks are offside. Devils won the first two, 3-0. Ducks got the first goal in this one. Devils have responded in the third to tie it.
I think you're looking at the best forward for the Ducks in this game. Niedermayer, they played against each other a lot in this game. Rob Niedermayer for the Ducks. Bill, you called it earlier. He said it is every second shift. Man, he's on the ice, on the ice, on the ice, and I think he's been their best player.
Great energy level.
Off this face-off again, Devils. That was Madden, again, who came up with it. Rob and Scott Niedermayer, the sixth pair of brothers to play against each other in the finals in Stanley Cup history. Madden center. Pandolfo just missed. We're under a minute to go. 3-on-2, 4-on-3. Ducks up looking for a game winner. In, Niedermayer centered, blocked by White. Cleared around by Scott Niedermayer and out of the zone. Back to get it is Keith Carney. 37 left on the clock. Devils are way offside, and that will be whistled.
Well, I wonder if the energy level caught up to Niedermayer. He was skating up ice 4-on-2. By the time they made the play, it was a 4-on-4. Yeah, look at the exhausted players. Great play by White, the defenseman. He stayed back, took away the passing lane, and that 4-on-2 never developed into any shot on goal at all.
Only 33 left in regulation. Face-off at center. Adam Oates just tied his man up. The puck set right there as he went against Rayon. Havlin with it. Havlin feathered it, intended for Oates. Got blocked. Anaheim back in their own end. Carney dishes off. 20 seconds left to go in it. Hit by Gianna. Two-line pass.
I think this might be an overtime preview. It is going to be tight. Both of these teams driven by their defensive systems and their defensive mentality. And I hope you packed a lunch, folks.
Brodeur and Giguere. Clock running with 17 seconds left. Shot in by Stevens. Bounces into the seats off Nick Havlin. Face-off again will come back to center ice. Many on the Devils say Scott Stevens could play 60, 70, 80 minutes, and you'd never notice a difference.
Just like Raymond Bourque.
Thought you were going to say 60, 70, 80 years.
Maybe that too.
I mean, he's played 21 years. He's going to be 40 real soon, and I think he's got, if he wants, 5 years anyway.
You shake hands with him and talk to him. He's like talking to Hercules.
It is.
Mind you, I never met Hercules, but still, the guy's built, he's strong, he's solid. The whole thing. What was he like anyway, Gary?
I thought you might have been there. Taken by Keith Carney deeper into the zone, and we're going to go to overtime.
Back on Mighty Ducks Classics, the Ducks unable to hold the one-goal lead after 2 periods of play. Now they've got the Devils right where they want them, overtime at least. As far as this playoff run has gone, the Ducks are 5-0 in overtime thus far. But a very cautious third period, and a third period where they give up the tying goal.
Huge swings in momentum in that third period. I thought that one team would carry the play for 3 or 4 minutes, and the other team would get hold of the puck, and they would have sustained pressure for 25, 35 seconds in the zone, and that's ultimately what led to the tying goal by Scott Gomez. It's interesting to me, though, that is anyone ever going to score a power play goal in this Stanley Cup final? The Ducks, however, their power play has looked much better than the Devils, and the reason being they're finally starting to get a few shots through. Brodeur has actually had to make a couple of saves on the power play, but now we're heading into overtime, and the one thing that we know in the Stanley Cup final, you will not get a power play once you head into the extra session. The referees are just not going to call a penalty.
Yeah, at this point, through the first 3 games, the teams are combined 1 for 16 on the power play. And we keep hearing, I know Gary Thorne and John Davidson and Bill Clement are mentioning the fact that Mike Babcock has put the big line back together with Sikora, Oates, and Correa, and maybe putting all his eggs in one basket. He's able to do this, though, because of the second line. With Ruchin, Niedermayer, and Leclerc, they emerge in these playoffs and give him an option. And physically speaking, in particular, they're play down low, and Rob Niedermayer in this game, he is getting in the kitchen a little bit, if you will, of Scott Stevens.
Well, I'm sure that's a big part of the strategy for Anaheim. You know, when you have Scott Stevens virtually eliminating Paul Kariya as an offensive factor, how do you deal with that? Well, one of the ways you deal with it when you have home ice advantage, the coach juggles up the lines, and he gets Rob Niedermayer out there whenever Stevens is on the ice, and he says to him, not only do I want you to play your game and generate chances, but I want you to get a few cracks in on Scott Stevens. This is an old guy. He's 39, 40 years of age. We need to wear him down a little bit and make him less of a factor. And at this time, Anaheim is also thinking in the back of their mind, if we can get this one game, we can make this a long series, and let's see how a 39-year-old guy performs over the course of a long series. So Niedermayer really stepped up. Rob Niedermayer, I thought, was absolutely brilliant in the Stanley Cup Final. That whole line, as a matter of fact, was by far Anaheim's best, and they were able, for long periods of time, to really control the puck along the boards down low.
Keep in mind the Ducks had not even scored a goal in the first 2 games of this series. Not only in this game have they finally done that, but they've also generated 28 shots on goal. They only had 32 in the first 2 games. Overtime has been their office, if you will, in this postseason. The Ducks 5-0 in the extra session, and we're going to overtime when we come back. Tied at 2 through regulation in Game 3 for the 2003 Stanley Cup Finals.
We are delighted you are with us here on ABC. Back upstairs with Clement and John Davidson. I'm Gary Thorne. OT about to begin. There's the streak he has running. He is 5-0 in overtime games this year. Martin Brodeur, overtimes have not been kind to him. 8 wins, 16 losses in playoff overtime games. Brought in by Marshall. Got deflected. Havlet plays it. Next goal wins. Devils win it. They're up 3-0 in the finals. Ducks win it. It's 2-1.
Mighty Ducks have fared a little better than the Devils in OT in this year's playoff run. But that's all ancient history right about now. Pat Burns will definitely try to have the Madden line out there with Paul Kariya, Peter Sikora, and Adam Oates are on the ice. He's going to have to change on the fly here. Madden started in OT and he pulled him off after this 15 seconds of play.
Ozolinsh came back to get it. Devils immediately make the line change. Ozolinsh drops it back. Sent up by Salei into the zone. Stevens back to get it. Dumped it out to center. John Madden fanning on the attempted up ice. Sent back in. Oates left it. Sikora, Oates, Paul Kariya. They've been together throughout this game. The scoring punch of the Ducks on one line. Third back out, bounces off Ozolinsh, lost it. Langenbrunner in. Langenbrunner shot. Deflected up and into the net. Just underway, OT, ABC in the Stanley Cup Finals.
Boy, that's just another thing that's kind of weird, isn't it? Don't confuse us with the facts. Our minds are made up, okay?
The only exception to that was Chris Draper, 98, Detroit. 5-4 win against Washington at home. LeClaire, open shot. Brodeur knocked it away. Niedermayer behind the net, cleared it up, not out. Keith Carney moved in from the point. Gomez took it away. Clears it around for White. Rob Niedermayer steps in, centered it. His brother Scott Niedermayer comes over on the near side and got it out through the middle. Devils back the other way. Gomez just dumped into the zone. Played back to LeClaire. LeClaire moves it up. LeClaire in, leaves it. Shot. Brodeur, another save on Salei. Rebound, Niedermayer, just wide of the net. They had Brodeur down, but it was a bouncing puck. Elias comes the other way for the Devils. Elias with Marshall cutting. And Giguere floats it.
Boy, has Martin Brodeur had to be spectacular at his end.
Twice, and I think Rob Niedermayer again. I think all the players on the ice, he's been the best player. He set up this shot by Ruslan, who had on that line with LeClaire and Niedermayer 2 good scoring chances to start overtime. Real good scoring chances.
What a job Ruslan did to get to his own rebound to shovel it in front for Niedermayer. And you have to think that sooner or later a face-off is going to come into play. In Game 2, the Mighty Ducks won 16 more draws. Here in regulation in Game 3, they've won 17 more face-offs than the New Jersey Devils. Hasn't been a factor yet, but
comes back to center. Davidovsky got it into the zone, knocked away by Breland. Salei knocked it away. Breland got it back. Moved in, Friesen. Chance deflected. Jason Krog picks it up. Krog will bring it the other way for the Ducks. Into the middle, Thomas. Thomas a shot high on the glove side. Stepping up, held in off the far side boards. Nobody up in front of the net. Players, in order to get a penalty called here in overtime, it will have to be flagrant. Cleared through center. And back into the zone. Chistoff knocks it back. Want to remind you, coming up next, the late local news, except on the West Coast, into the zone, Paulson. Paulson trying to center it. Chistoff out in front. Thomas had it, lost it. Havlat steps up. Havlat guns it. That goes up and over the glass into the netting again for a whistle.
One of the reasons I mentioned faceoffs being a factor is through regulation, there were 73 faceoffs in this game, and I think we've had about 6 or 7 already here in OT.
And Friesen's had a quiet game, only 2 shots. He's been Mr. Game-winning goal scorer throughout the playoffs for his team, especially recently. But not in this game. He's not had those real quality scoring chances that we've been watching him get in recent games.
Friesen's had 4 game-winning goals in the playoffs for the New Jersey Devils. So has Jamie Langenbrunner. Devils moved that one out. In overtime, the 5 wins by the Ducks this year in the playoffs. Correa, Ruchin, Leclerc all have 1 game-winning overtime goal, 2 for Peter Sikora. Near side for Carney. The Devils have them from Langenbrunner and Marshall.
And boy, is Mike Babcock and the Mighty Ducks ever making the Devils work for their matchups. They're having to change on the fly. This is the first OT period, so the benches are far from the defensive zone. You've got to be real sharp on the changes.
Here comes Madden, dumped it in. Keith Carney knocked it down. Carney cleared that one out. It has to be played by Niedermeyer. Ice time piles up for players. Carney's almost 27 minutes through the first 3 periods. Scott Stevens, Brian Rafalski the same for the Devils. Dumped off the near side. Carney moves in again. Carney centered. Carney hit Niedermeyer. Here's Salei. He's got a little run. Salei! Blocked by Brodeur! And he did not know where that rebound went. Into the corner. Niedermeyer taken down by Stevens, and I mean bear hug. It'll be moved out of the zone by Langenbrunner. Played back by Steve Ruchin. Leclerc trying to turn it. Still in the zone. Langenbrunner, big steal. Ruchin wouldn't let him go. Niedermeyer's got it again. Rob Niedermeyer up. Niedermeyer, Leclerc shooting side. Just wide. Brodeur diving, wasn't sure. Salei, it goes up into the netting. No whistle. Players were pointing up that it hit the netting, and they didn't get a whistle. Langenbrunner sends it out. The Ducks are changing. Madden, Leclerc moving back in. Shot. Madden saved Giguere. Played on Ozolinsh. Chistoff kicked it out of the zone. Back is Chistoff with it. Chistoff had it stolen by Gianna. Played back by Salei. Here's Breland. Breland in. Breland dropped it through the middle. It's backhanded to the near side on a poke check. Ozolinsh pushed it up the near side board. Chistoff didn't get it out. Here's Gianna. His shot in front. Blocked by Giguere. And covered.
Yeah, the puck never got over the blue line. The Devils pounced on it. Giguere had to hang on, and he's broken a rather significant record.
Playoff OT shutout streak passes Patrick Roy for the NHL's all-time record, 165 minutes and 26 seconds.
That's really special. Patrick retires, and all of a sudden his records start to disappear. That's a big loss.
Big time for Giguere and OT.
You look at this Devil Hockey Club, and you see on the ice right now, Breland and Gianta, 2 of the smaller players in this series, 2 of the smaller players in the game. Do they play big? They play huge. Big little guys.
Big hearts.
Just tough guys.
Sauer cleared that one out of the zone. Gianta knocked it away. Friesen giving chase Havlat. Havlat got it to center. Again, it bounces back for Friesen. Not going to touch it. Would have been a 2-liner. Havlat leaves it. Off the near side, Kurt Sauer. And it bounced away out to center. Taken again by Rafalski. Moving back up on the near side. Gomez in. Shot and a save made.
That's the 4th line on the ice for the Ducks. They've been able to be used a little bit in this game. They're +2. The 4th line for the Devils -2. So they haven't played much as a unit. Gomez uses the screen.
You never know who's going to be the guy to score your overtime goal. Some big names, Gordie Howe, Marc Messier, Mario Lemieux, never scored an overtime goal in the playoffs. Gordie Howe was admitted into the hospital yesterday. We understand he's feeling better today. Gordie, we're all thinking of you and pulling for you.
Regular heartbeat.
Yep.
And Much better today.
Not serious.
Gordy retired at 52 years of age, so there's nothing for him.
At center, it is loose. Dug out by Marshall, dumped back in. This is the 69th overtime game in Stanley Cup Finals history since 1919. And it is an enormous game for the Ducks in the finals for the first time, because if they go down 3-0, they're toast. Played back Stevens. Stevens drops it off Niedermeyer. Niedermeyer got it up the boards, not out of the zone though. Second chance he dials. Paul Kariya in the center. Kariya bounces it off Sikora. Chance shot it wide, short side. Almost 6 minutes into the first overtime. Stevens got a shot on in the corner and a check. Centering pass. Band on into the middle. Shot wide. Just missed. What a chance Pete Carney had. Carney whipped that one, but wide of the net. Centered. Carney again. Carney backhander. Deflected. Loose. Carney fans on a second chance. Ducks hold it in. Sikora came out to cover for Carney. Back in behind the net, Ruchin. Ruchin gets swung around. Kariya trying to set a pick for him. Madden moving in on him. Stick lost now by Stevens. Scott Stevens has lost the stick. Madden knows they got to clear it. He gets it out. Giguere. That's a little too far to be out of net for him. Found the boards and left it. Wow. The late local news coming up for our affiliates. They're on ABC, except on the West Coast. We're in overtime in this one. In the middle, Marshall's wide open. Pass to him. Deflected behind the net. Just back Ozolinsh.
Oh, great recovery by Ozolinsh.
Ducks move it up. Ozolinsh from the red will send it in. Bouncing puck glove. Overtime, game 3.
Billy, you talked about Mike Babcock, the Ducks coach, making Pat Burns work for matchups. Mike Babcock calls people, talks to people, days of games, between games. He has spent a lot of time talking to Scotty Bowman, and you talk about a matchup coach. Scotty Bowman may be the best of all time. Not a bad guy to phone up and say, listen, what do you think?
In the middle, score! Salei! Overtime game winner! The Ducks are back in it!
Sooner or later, a face-off had to be important in this series. And the most important face-off win of the Mighty Ducks season has just led to Ruslan Salei's overtime winning shot. And it was a good one right inside the post. Adam Oates, the veteran, he got it flat, he got it perfect to Salei, and a little snapshot beat Brodeur low to the glove side.
Oates was the only player during the regular season to be over 60%. In the entire NHL, he won it clean. It was in perfect position for Salei. The guy from Belarus scores his biggest goal. And Giguere's overtime record continues. And we have ourselves a series.
So the Mighty Ducks become the first team in NHL playoff history to win their first 6 overtime games in a postseason. Ruslan Salei, the 5th different player to get the game winner in overtime, but more importantly, they're back in the series.
They're back in the series, and everyone was talking about how dominant Anaheim was in terms of winning faceoffs, and ultimately a faceoff leads to the goal by Ruslan Salei. But there were so many good things that happened in this game. It was a bounce-back game, no question about it, for the Mighty Ducks. But first of all, right off the bat, Giguere, when he is on top of his game, it's like his chest is covered in Velcro. The puck seems to stick to him all the time. Very few rebounds for Giguere. It's not what we saw in games 1 or 2 of this series. So Jiggy was back on top of his game, and that was a great omen for the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim. Keith Carney played like an all-star in this game number 3, and he was dominant out there. The big line, Niedermeyer, Ruchin, Leclerc down low were dominating along the boards. And all of a sudden, you thought that perhaps there was a little bit of doubt in the backs of the minds of the New Jersey Devils. Yes, Anaheim got a couple of bounces in this game, but I think overall they carried the majority of the play to the Devils, and I'm sure they went back into that locker room, and everyone to a man would have said Now we're playing like we've played throughout the postseason.
And breaks are what you make of them. The Ducks got some breaks in this game, and they get themselves back in the series by making something of them and winning in overtime. 32 shots on goal in the first 2 games, ironically. They win Game 3 on their 33rd shot on goal of the game. Ozolinsh scores. Salei scores. Ozolinsh pitches in with an assist as well. You talked about the minutes played and the way Carney played. The defensemen really step up in this game.
No question about it. And, you know, we heard Bill Clement and John Davidson talking about the fact that the Devils are just so proficient in how they defend their own goal. You don't get an awful lot of opportunities. So what do you do in order to get some chances? Well, you got to activate your defensemen. You have to play high-risk hockey at times, and that fits right into the game plan of Sandis Ozolinsh. He looked like he was having fun out there. And Sandis is a guy who puts a tremendous amount of pressure on himself, not only to be good, but to be great in a game. I remember going into this game, he had said to me on the flight coming back from New Jersey how disappointed he was with the way he had performed in games number 1 and 2. He puts a lot on his own shoulders. Well, he was great in game number 3. I thought he was great the rest of the series. Not quite good enough to get the Ducks over the top and capture the Stanley Cup, but Sandis Ozolinsh was a huge reason why Anaheim was so competitive in this final.
And one of the few guys coming into the final that had Stanley Cup Finals experience. It showed in Game 3 as the Ducks win 3-2 in overtime. The series now 2-1 in favor of the New Jersey Devils, as Brian mentioned. However, it would be a series that may go down as a classic. It went 7 games before the Devils prevailed and did ultimately win the 2003 Stanley Cup. But it was a classic on May 31st of 2003, the first ever Stanley Cup Final home game at the Arrowhead Pond of Anaheim. And the Mighty Ducks in overtime defeat the New Jersey Devils 3-2. For Brian Hayward, I'm John Ahlers. Thanks for being with us on Mighty Ducks Classics.
And eliminated the defending